Live from the Tucson Arena, this is University of Arizona Hockey. It's time to drop the puck with Timothy Gasson, the voice of the Wildcats. So let's head to the action with Arizona Wildcats Hockey.
Welcome to the Tucson Arena, where the number 11 Arizona Wildcats will take on the number 9 Missouri State Bears. Hi, everybody. I'm Timothy Gasson. I'll be calling tonight's action along with my broadcast partner, Jackson Peters. And Jackson, this is a really important WCHL League game. After this game, we'll be halfway through the league schedule. Arizona and Missouri State are tied in second place, chasing after Central Oklahoma. These two games, tonight and tomorrow, could determine who's going to challenge Central Oklahoma in the second half of the season.
And the big thing about that is, Tim, is both teams know that. They know that these are must-win games for both teams. So they're going to come in here with a lot of intensity, and both teams are really going to want to walk out of this weekend with 2 wins. So it'll be interesting to see, how hard these guys bring it tonight. Are they going to try some new things, or are they just going to stick with what's working? So it'll be interesting to see.
Well, Arizona comes in after a convincing 7-1 victory over the Arkansas Razorbacks here at the Tucson Arena last night. They showed a lot of offensive power and some secondary scoring that we've been looking for. Missouri State has a lot of secondary scoring. We were looking at their scoring leaders. They have a half dozen players scoring as much as Arizona's top 2 players. I think we're going to see a lot of offensive firepower from the Bears here tonight.
Yeah, and when you look at a team's record, their statistics like that, sometimes you can pick out the guys and, those are the players that coaches tell you, go after those guys. Don't let those guys get in good shooting lanes. But they've got a lot to keep track of. So it'll be important for the Wildcats defense to really get sticks in lanes tonight. I think that's the big key in the defensive zone of the Wildcats tonight. They have to shut down those big scores. They can't let them get any good scoring chances. No straight shots, and just try to keep everything to the outside here.
Well, when you look at some of the other statistics, these two teams seem really evenly matched. Now, they've played one time already in Missouri with the Wildcats skating away with the 5-3 victory. They both have excellent goaltenders. Missouri State has 2 goaltenders with the goals against average under 2 a game. Arizona right there with Anthony Shero under 2 goals a game. And they have similar records. Missouri State comes in at 14-2-3. Number 11 Arizona at 12-3. We're going to know a whole lot more about both of these teams after tonight and tomorrow night. Now, this is what I really enjoy about a 2-game college series, Jackson. Here Friday night, we'll play Missouri State, and then turn around tomorrow night at 7:30. We'll drop the puck again between Arizona and Missouri State. Whichever team does not come out the victor here today gets an instant chance at redemption tomorrow. What does Arizona need to do to make sure that they're the team coming in looking for the sweep tomorrow night?
I know I say it every game, Tim, but they need to come out fast. This is a really skilled team, and this isn't a team that you can let off for any moment. So you talk about how many scores this team has. So that means if they, make a mistake or allow a shooting lane or any bad turnovers, especially on the defensive blue line, this is a team that will capitalize and they will score. So I think that's a big key for them is, try to eliminate those little mistakes, bad turnovers. They have to play a full 60 minutes here. They can't back off for even 1 minute. They got to play hard the entire game here.
Well, I think this series also will emphasize how different it is playing on the road than it is playing at home. Tucson is a great home ice for the Arizona Wildcats. They showed that yesterday against a very pesky Arkansas team. Now, that final score was 7-1, but that game was a close game through 2 periods of that game before Arizona finally came away with that 7-1 to win. On the other hand, Missouri State was in it with Arizona State in Tempe, came away a 6-3 winner. Now, playing your second game in 2 days maybe isn't that difficult, but both of these teams will be playing tomorrow night here, their 3rd game in 3 days. So does that make this game here even more important? Both teams knowing they really will have their best legs here tonight?
Yeah, especially when you consider that a lot of times on, 3-game weekends like that, a lot of players like to try and conserve energy, and I don't expect to see that at all tonight. I expect 100% from every player on the ice, especially when you consider the Missouri State has yet to lose in regulation on the road this season. So they're coming here with a win off last night and no regulation losses yet. So they're going to have a lot of momentum, and they're going to have a lot of confidence. They feel that they can come into any building right now and win.
Well, and let's talk about this budding rivalry between the Arizona Wildcats and the Missouri State Bears. I was in Columbus, Ohio with the Arizona Wildcats in the national tournament this last spring when Arizona eliminated Missouri State from the national tournament. And there was a little bit of talk from Missouri State before that game, talking about how confident they were, about how they were going to blow out Arizona. Well, Arizona was the team that didn't say anything back, kept it all in the locker room, came out on the ice and eliminated Missouri State. You know that the Bears remember that, and they remember losing on home ice to Arizona earlier this season. You know the Bears are going to come out with both barrels blazing here tonight.
Yeah, this is one of those games that this team certainly circled on their calendar. They've started a grudge last year at Nationals. They lose that game at home. They want to prove a point to this Wildcat squad that they're a better team. They want to show that they really want to make an impact, more so than the Wildcats. So I'm expecting a lot of effort out of this Missouri State team.
Now, this is fascinating to compare these two programs. Arizona in its 40th year of college hockey. Missouri State, a much younger program in the ACHA. They've risen quickly. There's a lot of emphasis at Missouri State on this hockey team. They put a lot of effort into this team, and very quickly they've become a contender in the WCHL. So you don't think about a team from Missouri and a team from Arizona being rivals, but these are very comparable kind of programs. They're both chasing Central Oklahoma in the WCHL, want to contend for that championship, that regular season championship, and that high seeding in the national tournament. Missouri State was ranked as high as number 6 just a little bit earlier this semester. Arizona number 11. Now this is as we said yesterday, this is the highest ranking for the Arizona Wildcats in Coach Berman's tenure here. He's in his 5th year here at Arizona. When I was with this team originally several decades ago, Arizona was perennially a top 5 team, and that's the level that the Arizona Wildcats are trying to get back to. That's the level that the Missouri State Bears are trying to climb up to. So let's talk about that for a second. It's difficult to get from that very good team to a really, really excellent contending team that can win a championship. What does Arizona need to do to make that next step up into a contending championship team?
The big thing that they need to do is a lot easier said than done, is consistency. They need to be able to come out every game, no matter the opponent, whether it's Missouri State, a high-ranked team, or a team that isn't ranked. So they need to show up to every game exactly the same. Expect to be playing the same intensity from the opponent. So I think that's the big thing here, consistency. They have to find a way to start building that consistency through every game they play, here and away.
Well, that's something Arizona was better at last night. Jackson and I were thinking that might have been Arizona's best game that we've seen so far this year. From a consistency basis, they played a good 60 minutes of hockey. Now, a coaching staff will always nitpick at things. There's always things you want to improve at. You want to be better at your breakout. You want to be better on your penalty kill. There's all kinds of little things that I know Coach Berman wants to work on to get this team up to the next level. But Arizona did play a very good game last night. Well, I think they're going to have to play a 20 or 25% better game than that in order to come away with the victory against a very good Missouri State Bears team. They're lined up ready to take the ice. As soon as they take the ice, we'll go down to ice level for the starting lineups. We'll have our national anthem, and then we'll drop the puck. And I don't think Arizona has appeared yet from their locker room. They haven't, so we're still a minute or two away from getting this one started. But as exciting as this game's going to be, Jackson, tomorrow night, the rubber match here between these two teams, I think is going to be quite the battle.
Yeah, especially when you consider no matter which team wins, the team that loses is going to have a lot of anger. You know, both teams want to walk away.
And motivation.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of motivation. They're going to expect that last night was a fluke in some cases. They're not going to think that that's the outcome that should have happened. So I think whoever wins tonight is going to have a much bigger challenge tomorrow.
Well, absolutely right. So Missouri State has now taken the ice. We'll wait for the Arizona Wildcats to show up. They're usually, now they're starting to appear. They have a long walk from their locker room to the ice here at the Tucson Arena. So let's send it down to ice level for the starting lineups, the national anthem, and then we'll drop the puck between number 11 Arizona and number 9 Missouri State. You're watching University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey.
24, Hunter Cooley at right wing. Number 20, Andrew Kovacic. At the center position for the Bears, number 11, Brennan Anderson. At left defense, number 18, Chris Brown. At right defense, number 90, Nikita Salinikov. And in the nets today for your Missouri State Bears, number 29, Bailey Stevens. The head coach is Jeremy Law. And here come your Wildcats. And ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for your Arizona Wildcats. Starting at left wing, number 15, Anthony Cusinelli. And right wing, number 18, Ethan Stallhuth. At the center position for your Cats, number 11, Bailey Marshall. And left defense, number 24, Keelan Olnick. And right defense, number 20, Manny Rowe. And in the nets today for your Wildcats, number 30, Anthony Churro. The head coach of your Wildcats is Chad Berman. Your assistant coach is Tati Hogan and Shane Fossell. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats and face the south goal for tonight's national anthem, which is sung by Dolce a cappella.
Twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
We are ready to drop the puck between the Arizona Wildcats and the Missouri State Bears. I'm Timothy Gaston, along with my broadcast partner, Jackson Peters. We always talk about the first 5 minutes, Jackson, being so important for both hockey teams. Well, guess what? It's even more important tonight because this is the teddy bear toss. The first goal from Arizona will signal the flying of the teddy bears over the ice, over the glass, onto the ice. So get those teddy bears ready, Wildcat fans. Hopefully Arizona will score a goal quickly, and we'll get the teddy bear toss underway. Of course, those bears will be collected and then given to children in need. The annual teddy bear toss here at the Tucson Arena and Wildcat Hockey.
Are you ready for some hockey?
But the Arizona Wildcats will be looking for that goal, not just to make teddy bears fly, Jackson, but to get that all-important first goal lead.
Yeah, and they're especially going to want to get it early. They want to set the tone early here tonight.
Play underway now between number 11 Arizona and number 9, Missouri State. As the puck comes right into the Arizona zone. Thrown in front, but Ethan Stallhuth comes up with Bailey Marshall. Headmanning it over to Cusinelli. Back to the point. That's Manny Rowe, tries to throw it right in the slot. He does. Cats can't get a stick on it. Now they do. Stallhuth turns and wheels, but the puck doesn't get through. Oh, and that comes in, squirts in on Stevens. And he gobbles it up for the faceoff in the Missouri State zone. Neither team can give up a bad goal, of course, but you look at those goals against averages of our 2 starters. Stevens at 1.9 and Anthony Shuro at 1.98. We have 2 good goaltenders. It's going to take a really good shot, I think, to beat either of these goaltenders here tonight.
Yeah, and I expect this game tonight to be a battle of goaltenders to see who can, prevent that first goal.
Play back on, and the Cats send it back down into the Bears zone. Trey Decker comes up with it, tries to send it back to Hull at the point, but it comes out to center ice instead. Cats send it back to Josh Larson, who really skated well last night in the game versus Arkansas. But the Bears recover, almost give it up inside their own zone, but Arizona sends it right back into the Missouri State end. Now the Bears should not have bus legs, as we call them, to start this game. They just had to travel about 2 hours from Tempe, where they played Arizona State last night. So they should be good and fresh for this game. Arizona, of course, were able to sleep in their own beds here after their home game in Tucson last night. So we should have 2 well-rested hockey teams at the very best of the semester, playing at their very best. This is how you like to see 2 contending teams the right time of the year, both playing well. This is going to be a great barometer of where these 2 hockey teams are this year. As we're just underway, just 2 minutes into the first, and we are scoreless between number 11 Arizona and number 9 Missouri State. Brian Schumacher picked it up for Missouri State there and heads up ice, but it's poked a good poke at the blue line. Arizona tries to counterpunch. Missouri State's right back over the blue line themselves. Puck comes in on Shuro and makes a sure-handed save. We talk about this all the time. So important for goaltenders to get into the game early, keep their concentration going, and make those good early saves.
Yeah, and although we're still only 2.5 minutes into this game, a lot of this game has been played in Missouri State's zone. So I'm sure if you're Anthony Shuro here, you want to start getting some shots, getting a feel for tonight's game and get an idea of how they're going to play tonight.
Yeah, Arizona has played a lot of the game inside the Missouri State zone, but not a lot of great scoring opportunities yet. Of course, Arizona wants to use their speed as the puck comes in on Shuro. He fights that one off. That was kind of a riser. Started low and kind of rose up on Anthony Shuro. He fought it off, and we continue to play in the Arizona's end of the ice. Just underway in this one and scoreless. The Cats come away with it. There's Keelan Ulnick coming up ice, and nice low shot from Ulnick. The Bears come away with it. As we've just had one of our custom Wildcat teddy bears delivered to us in the booth. These bears are, I believe, available for sale on the concourse level, specially made by Eric Holton, the former UofA goaltender here in Tucson. He makes customized not only just bear jerseys, he makes goalie jerseys and also jerseys for dogs, which reminds me we'll have pucks for paws tomorrow here at the Tucson Arena with these 2 teams. The puck comes right back in on Stevens. He makes the save. The puck goes behind the net. Tonight, the teddy bear toss. Tomorrow, it's pucks for paws. Bring your dog on a leash, please. As we like to say, it's the night for dogs to cheer for the Cats. It's a dangerous puck, went right through the crease there, but a bear was not able to get his stick on it. Bailey Marshall headmans it. There's Anthony Cusinelli putting on the Jets. Can he get to the puck in time? He can. Sends it out into the crease. And there's a shot that comes in on Stevens. He sees it and makes the save. Those are the kind of skill plays that Arizona is going to need to make the good pass and get that shot off.
Yeah, especially when you're playing such a good team. A lot of those, tip-ins that you expect to go in sometimes, this team's expecting, a lot of skill, so you're going to have to do something real special if you want to score on this team here. So the big thing that both teams need to do here tonight is really make sure that they can both get it out of the zone effectively. Early on in this game, neither team has really had a very effective breakout, which I think is the result of why Missouri State's played a lot of this game in their own zone.
Well, do you think there could be a little bit of nerves there going too, as both teams know how important this game is? Neither team wanting to make a mistake early in the game?
Yeah, if your player's hurt, you don't want to be the guy that messes up in the game early. You don't want to be the player, turns over the puck and causes for that first goal to occur.
Josh Larson in on the faceoff for Arizona, won by the Bears. They send it up to the blue line, and it's pinned there near the blue line. Comes out now. Travis Barrett with the puck for the Bears, comes over the line with it, tries to thread it through, but there's a good defensive play by Langelar for Arizona. One of the fine defensemen, one of the fine freshman defensemen for Arizona. Battle for the puck in the near side corner, up the near side boards now. It's important for Arizona to be able to get possession of the puck in the defensive zone and be decisive about getting out of that zone. As Cam Armstrong sends it up, and it does come to center ice, but it's shot right back in. You don't just want to get that puck out of the zone, Jackson. You want to have a purpose with it. You want to try to get it to someone specific.
Yeah, especially, you don't want to just throw it out of the zone. You want to get it out of the zone with control. Unless you're facing intense pressure, you want to make sure you have a handle on that puck before you leave the zone.
Right now, we've been playing a lot right at the Arizona blue line. As Cam Armstrong comes up with the puck again. And you see there's an example of that got out of the zone, but without any really specific purpose, and it comes right back in on your own goaltender. So Arizona needs to break out of their own zone a little more decisively here. We're about 6 minutes into this first period, and we're scoreless as the puck comes back in on Shuro.
Hey fans, be sure to check out our 6 and 12 game flex packs that are on sale.
And if you don't have a purpose with where that puck goes and it keeps coming back in, eventually that's going to turn into a tough shot on goal. Anthony Shuro making a good save there and just slowing everything down. But Arizona has to be a little bit more decisive with its breakout.
Yeah, and you can tell that Missouri State's starting to pick up that this Arizona team is having difficulty getting out of their zones. They're sending 2 forecheckers in now, as opposed to 1 they were earlier in the game.
Arizona comes up with some speed back the other way, tries to throw it to the center of the ice. They do. And Jake Dickinson just misses the net on the far side. So there's a tip in behind the net. Keelan Olenek picks it up for Arizona. Turns and sends it up the near side boards now to Manny Rowe. And again, he gave that puck up without really a destination for it. And now he knocks down a Bear. No call right in front of the referee there. And we continue play. Arizona tries to feather the puck down to Jake Dickinson. He comes away with it. Tries to send it through the slot, but the Bears come up with it and just send it back. Here's Rowe. Not a lot of offensive flow yet in this game, Jackson.
No, not a lot by either team, and a lot of that is because of their lack of good breakouts so far. They're having a hard time getting speed as they come out of the zone.
I see waved off there as Hull goes for the puck. There's a attempted tip into Andrew Kovacic right in front that just jumped over his stick. A good opportunity there for Missouri State, as they look like they've settled down a little bit here as we're almost 7 minutes into this first period, about 7.5 minutes into this first period. The early going Arizona had a lot of offensive zone time, Now Missouri State coming back here and starting to move the puck better.
Yeah, they've been trapped in their zone for a lot of the last few minutes. So a big thing they need to do is make sure they're making good, crisp passes and not just turning over the puck right to the middle of the zone.
Missouri State with a good forecheck, kind of bottling up Arizona, but they come away with the puck and try to restart a rush. Bailey Marshall, top scorer for Arizona, up to Stalyuth. He's over the line with the puck. Not able to do much with it as Anthony Cusinelli tried to throw it wide. Marshall comes away with it again. Over to Langelar, who rushes up ice now over the blue line with some speed. Back to Bailey Marshall, who winds up, and there was an attempt at a tip by Stalyuth. He was in good position there, but it didn't quite connect. Oh, there's just a bad bounce off of an Arizona Wildcat cruising in front. Those are the kind that can bounce in the net, but that one bounced right back to center ice as Arizona now tries to come up with Steve. There's Anthony Cusinelli with the puck, but he has it poked away. And the Bears counterpunch. Jordan Bratton with the puck. Comes in on Anthony Sherwood, and he kicks it off to the near side corner. We're almost halfway home here in the first period. Play starting to pick up here a little bit. As Manny Rowe has his stick held. No call, we continue on. And Arizona's trying to get the puck out of their own zone.
And neither team having a lot of good puck possession in the offensive zone yet.
And there's a puck just thrown right up the center of the ice, kept in by Missouri State. Josh Larson now has it, but he doesn't get the puck out either. Arizona needs to get this puck out of the zone right now. Running around a little bit in the defensive zone as we're heading up on the 10-minute mark of the first period. Now a stick, an Arizona stick comes on the puck, and Josh Larson comes over the red line, comes over the blue line. Cats are going for a partial change, so he just sends it in on Stevens. Bears come over the red line and just send it in and go for a change. 10:15 gone in the first period. We're still scoreless between number 11 Arizona and number 9 Missouri State. So far, a pretty carefully played first period.
Yeah, and one of the big things that you can notice that the Cats are doing to be careful is a lot of their shots they're trying to take on Bailey Stevens are low. They're trying to get rebounds. I think they're aware that Bailey Stevens is such a good goaltender that they're not going to be able to roof it right past him like they would on some goaltenders in this league.
There's Brendan Anderson with some good speed, comes in. That puck just bounces wide. Missouri State starting to show a little bit of that offensive prowess that we talked about in the pregame, Jackson. They're very good with moving the puck. Arizona comes away with it. Oh, are they able to break Ben Fury? Fury breaks in, tries to throw it in front. Some good sticks there, though, keeping a shot from happening as Manny Rowe kind of whiffs on the shot. He's got to skate now. He lost his stick, too. He's got to take his man. Arizona luckily gets that puck to center ice. Manny Rowe heads for the bench and is replaced. Good heads-up play as we have an offside at the Arizona blue line by Manny Rowe to recognize that he had to skate back and kind of get in the way of that man racing up the ice with the puck.
Yeah, a lot of times when a player breaks his stick like Manny Rowe did there, they'll either, just skate back to the bench or kind of look like, what am I supposed to do?
What do we do? Like, yeah.
So that was a nice heads-up play by Manny Rowe to recognize that that was going to be an odd-man rush for Missouri State if he didn't catch up. So that was good of him to still use his body to get back into the play.
Still scoreless here in the first period between number 11 Arizona and number 9 Missouri State. Remember, it's teddy bear toss night. I wonder if from our press box location at the top of the Tucson Arena, do you think I could get this bear onto the ice?
I believe in you, Tim. I think
you believe in me. You believe in me. I don't know. We might need to put something heavy in this to take someone out to get it that far. Such a beautiful bear. I think maybe I'll just donate this to the Wildcats in person after the game. Remember, it's teddy bear toss after the first Arizona goal. Throw your teddy bears out onto the ice. They'll be collected and given to children in need. another great charity event by the University of Arizona Wildcats hockey team, which has won awards for its national service to charities. As Cats race for the puck there, no icing. Dawson Marshall digs for it there behind the net, but the Bears come the other way. And here's where Arizona needs to skate, not just put a stick out in front of the puck carrier like they did there. Missouri State got all the way into the zone and got a shot off from near the bottom of the circle there because a couple of Arizona Wildcats just put a stick out in front of the goal, the puck carrier, rather than moving their feet. This is obviously a fast Missouri State team, perhaps the first ACHA team that we've seen that can match the speed of Arizona this year, Jackson.
Yeah, it is, and the Cats need to be careful about that. They can't expect to, just be able to, turn on the jets and skate right past some defensemen like we've seen them do against some teams. This is a team that can match their speed and their skill, so they have to be aware of that. And I think alternatively, they need to recognize that their defensemen are going to have to gap up a little quicker. They're not going to be able to just keep skating back, and just wait for an offenseman to make the play. They need to pressure the offense of Missouri State into doing something they don't want to do.
Hey, explain that a little bit, Jackson, because we talk about the defensive gap between the defenseman and the puck carrier coming in attacking, and how you have to get that gap correctly to play good defense.
Yeah, so that gap is how far it is between if you're a defenseman skating backwards towards your own goal, how far away you are from that offenseman with the puck. So you need to keep that gap small enough to where they can't make a good play, but you also need to keep it big enough so they can't just make a quick move and go right past you.
Yeah, and sometimes, we have some young defensemen, and sometimes they think, keep that gap nice and big, don't let someone behind you. And there's a shot and a goal! A shot and a goal! Ethan Stalyuth with a twisted wrister! And Arizona takes that all-important first goal, and the Bears are flying. Fly, Teddy Bears, fly! The Bears are flying in the Teddy Bear toss. Arizona takes a 1-0 lead, and the Bears are flying. Be free, my Teddy Bear friends, be free. 6:22 to go in the first. Ethan Stalyuth with a great wrist shot as Arizona takes the lead against number 9 Missouri State. And I think that Bailey Stevens might have just been surprised by that shot. He wasn't screened or anything. Wonderful, wonderful goal. And Arizona takes the lead.
I'll tell you what, Tim, I think that goal is all from that defensive gapping we were talking about.
Number 18, Ethan Stalyuth. That's Stalyuth, unassisted, time of your Wildcat Teddy Bear goal. 13 minutes, 38 seconds in the first period.
He shoots, he scores. The Teddy Bears are still flying here at the Tucson Arena. I'm going to keep this guy that Eric Holton gave to me and give this in person because I'm afraid it's not going to make it to the ice from here.
And one thing you have to think about here, Tim, is a lot of times after a goal, if you're the team that gets scored on, you get to go right back and line up at center ice. But if you're Missouri State here, you're going to have to sit and watch and think about, that goal that was just scored on. So that's all they can really think about right now. While, alternatively, the Wildcats have some energy going. This is an exciting night of the year, that Teddy Bear goal. And, for Ethan Stalyuth, that's an exciting moment. If you're in this game, you always want to be the guy that gets the Teddy Bears flying.
Yeah,
so.
that is a huge goal. They're doing a really good job of getting these Bears off the ice quickly, so I don't think it's going to take away from Arizona's momentum. Now, if you're Missouri State, they're standing over there, and they've got to be just a little bit disgusted because they were talking a little bit about the Teddy Bear thing. Hey, we're not going to let Arizona score a goal. They're not going to get to throw the Bears on the ice. Well, that's been taken care of here in the first period, and they have to just kind of sit and watch the Arizona fans celebrate and throw Teddy Bears at them. And on the other hand, Ethan Stalyuth pumping his fist after scoring that goal. I think he knows how big it is for his team in this game, the first of 2 games against number 9 Missouri State, to score that first important goal.
Yeah, especially in a game like this that, every goal is really going to matter. I don't expect this to be a game like last night with a huge goal differential. This could be a 1-2 goal game if you look at it, just by how good both of these teams are. So I think Stalyuth recognizes that, and that was an excellent goal, and I think a lot of it had to do with that defensive gapping we were talking about.
Also donations for the kids of UofA. Thank you very, very much.
So the Teddy Bear toss has been executed. There was a game, was it last year or the year before, Jackson? I can't remember. Were you with me when Arizona didn't score in the Teddy Bear game? It may have been 2 years ago then, before you were with us. And it was the saddest thing. At the end of the game, they said, okay, everybody, go ahead and throw your teddy bears. Arizona didn't score in the game. It's such a, it may sound silly to think about this, but this is a relief for Arizona not to have to worry about scoring that first goal on a promotional night like there, where they know thousands of people are here with teddy bears waiting to throw it. That's done now. It's almost like a relief for them, and they've got that 1-goal lead.
Yeah, I mean, as a fan, you might not realize, how much that might be a weight on your back to be waiting for those teddy bears to come flying. So now they can go in the locker room for the first period and not have to worry about it coming out in the next period. It's said, it's done, and they don't have to worry about it anymore.
Well, we talk about how both these teams want to be contenders. They want to take that next step. It'll be interesting to see how Missouri State responds to that goal by Arizona. Ethan Stalleuth with a wrister that just plain beat Stevens. Talk about how you thought the defensive gap there may have contributed to that shot going in.
Yeah, we saw the Missouri State defender not recognize Stalleuth's speed, so he was able to, just rip right past him, and the Missouri State defender kind of got caught flat-footed. He wasn't able to, get his stick out far enough to stop Stalleuth's shot.
Here comes Josh Larson, 1-on-2 over the line. Lost the puck, however. And Missouri State tries to counterpunch, coming back 2-on-3. Nice poke check there at center ice. But Missouri State's back over the blue line again. Arizona digs for it in the near side corner. Bailey Marshall digging for it there. 5:19 to go in the period. As Keelan Ulnick comes away with the puck, just kinds of chips it in. Oh, and Ethan Stalleuth just dumped a bear. He just dumped Derek Smith there going in for the puck. No call. As he's jacked up, Arizona with a shot from the crease. That was a nice opportunity that just went wide off of Cusinelli. Anthony Cusinelli didn't score last night. He's due for a big goal. Anthony Cusinelli, of course, the all-everything for Arizona last season, including the freshman of the year in the ACHA. Now we got a little bit of talking and a little bit of stick checking going on between a couple of the guys out there. There's definitely intensity in this game here tonight.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with that grudge we were talking about that Missouri State has against this team. You talk about that first loss this season. Missouri State was eliminated in the national championship last year by Arizona, so they have a lot of hatred towards this Arizona team. To get sent home by a team, that's a team you're never gonna like.
Yeah.
No matter for what reason.
Yeah, don't underestimate the as the Cats come on 2-on-1 now. Trey Decker with the shot and a backhander. It's in the net. Trey Decker with a beautiful backhander finds the twine. Arizona takes a 2-0 lead. What a beautiful backhander by Trey Decker. Wonderful pass and just a beautiful timing play. Arizona with a 2-0 lead.
A lot of times, Tim, we see the puck carrier is the one that brings all that speed into the zone, but that was Trey Decker. He went around that second Missouri State defenseman, and the Missouri State defenseman wasn't able to pick him up, so he lost him, which left Trey Decker wide open in the slot, able to make that nice move.
What a beautiful skill play there. And this is why you give assists in hockey, because that assist was as good as the goal. Arizona now with a 2-0 lead. What a burst of speed up the ice by Arizona. They're a speed skill team, and so far in the first period, they have performed.
Wildcat goal, give it to number 25, Trey Decker. The assist goes to number 6, Josh Larson, and number 21, Devin Langelar. That's Decker from Larson and Langelar. Time of your Wildcat goal, 15 minutes, 22 seconds in the first period.
He shoots, he scores. Josh Larson with a beautiful assist, and he's been skating really well. Skated really well last night in the win against Arkansas. Here's the puck comes in on Shirley. Overtly just jumps on it. We'll have a face-off. And that assist was as good as the goal to give Arizona a 2-0 lead. That's why I love in hockey they give not only 1 but 2 assists. That's the reason why you get assists in hockey.
Yeah, and you could tell Josh was ready to make that pass. He was looking for it. I think he recognized that Trey Decker had beaten that second Missouri State defenseman. So that's a good heads-up play by both of those players to make that goal happen.
That's one of those timing plays that has to be perfect, and it was. That same line back on now for Arizona as Hull jumps in the play and tries to throw it into the Bears zone. Josh Larson digging for it there in the near side corner. Decker's in front. Can they give him the puck? I saw the goal light go on for some reason there, and we have a whistle. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Did the net come off? I think the net may have come off the pegs. Why the goal light went on for a second there, I don't know, though. Was that my imagination, Jackson, or did that flash for a second?
No, the lights went off, and it looks like one of the linesmen just went over to check the goalpost.
Yeah, it was a little wobbly on its peg there, didn't it? So we'll have a face-off. Back to Hull for Arizona. Sends it down to Decker. Down low to Justin Plumhoff. But Missouri State recovers and comes up ice, 3-on-3. Nice pass to the center ice and a backhand attempt. Ooh, Shuro isn't quite sure where it is because it's in the net. Anthony Shuro wasn't quite sure where that weak backhander was. That's a bad goal.
Yeah, that's one of those goals you never want to let in as a goaltender. It looks like it just slipped right through his 5-hole. He just wasn't able to get a handle on it. So that's a real unfortunate goal to let in if you're Shuro there. You know, you squeeze your legs together and you think you have it, but sometimes players put just a little enough power on it to make it squeeze through.
You know, it could have been Anthony Shuro was worried about the skater coming down the opposite wing, wondering if he was going to have to slide over to make that save, and maybe that took his attention away because that wasn't a very hard backhander, but there was a Missouri State player. I thought the puck was going to go across the crease. Maybe Anthony Shuro did too. Well, that is exactly what Missouri State needed. They're right back into this game. It's 2-1 now with 3 minutes to go in the first period. That's got to be a huge boost for Missouri State to get one of those right back here in the first period as they come in again and try to get the puck across the crease. Great defensive play there by Keelan Ulnick, who blocked off that puck.
One Matt Matai. Give the assist to number 19, Spencer Sollenbach, and number 79, Alex Rubin. Well, that's Matai from Sollenbach and Rubin. Time of the Missouri State goal, 16 minutes, 52 seconds in the first period.
So Maddie with the goal for Missouri State. He cuts that lead in half, 2-1. And that means, and here comes the Bear in all alone. And a nice save there by Shuro as the net now comes off its pegs just a little bit. Keelan Ulnick. Anthony Cusinelli getting into it with Hunter Cooley on the far side corner. And you know something egregious had to happen for Cusinelli to get his stick up with an opponent. I think Cusinelli also won most gentlemanly player in the WCHL last year. Or maybe they call that most sportsmanlike. Yeah. Some leagues call it most sportsmanlike, some most gentlemanly. But Cusinelli's going, well, they're both going to go off. I'm going to guess there's going to be corresponding minors here, which will be a good call. In any case, Anthony Cusinelli, one of the nicest young men you could possibly want to know as a hockey player, a great competitor. You know there has to be something testy going on there for him to mix it up. Yeah,
it takes a lot to set Cusinelli off. He's not one of those guys you see engaging in those little scrums after whistles. He's not one that, see him looking for the big hit. So that must have taken a lot, either something Missouri State player did or said to really set him off there. Yeah, there are some guys you just need to exist as an opposing player to set him off. I mean, you can do absolutely nothing and it sets him off. Anthony Cusinelli isn't one of those players. In any case, we'll have offsetting minors. I think we'll wait for the call here. Just 2:14 to go in the first period, and it shows the intensity of this game between number 9 Missouri State and number 11 Arizona. And we don't have to have our conversation about the 2-goal lead being the worst lead in hockey now, Jackson, because it's now 2-1 Arizona.
Cooley, 2 minutes for roughing. Wildcat penalty on number 15, Anthony Cusinelli, 2 minutes for roughing. Both penalties at 17 minutes, 46 seconds of the first period.
So offsetting roughing penalties, and we'll spend almost the rest of the first period skating 4-on-4. Cats do well 4-on-4. As Bailey Marshall with the puck at the blue line. Now it comes to Trey Decker, and he lets one go. Oh, a big, juicy rebound there. The puck comes all the way up to center ice, and now over the Arizona blue line. Missouri State takes a shot that is deflected to the far side. They maintain possession, though, 4-on-4. So it comes down to Schumacher. He sends it down. low. Arizona comes away with it, though. That's Langelaar, one of the freshmen, with the puck as the Cats go for a partial change. Langelaar comes up the ice and just kind of throws it in, and he's going to head over to the bench for a change. Coming down to 1 minute to go in the first period. A very entertaining period of hockey with Arizona with a 1-goal lead.
1 minute left in the first period.
Oh, there's a shot that goes off of Shuro's glove just wide as a point-blank shot from Brennan Anderson also thankfully goes wide. That was a great opportunity to tie this up, and here come the Bears, 3-on-2. Arizona racing back to get on as the puck deflects, luckily for Arizona, into the near side. Can Bailey come away with the puck? He does, over to Stalyuth, already with the goal tonight. Stalyuth just kind of rags it and throws it into the corner and goes for a change. We're down to the last 20 seconds to go into the period as Chris Brown takes a splash but retains possession of the puck. Brennan Anderson over the line now, and Shuro does the right thing with 9.4 seconds to go in the period. He just gloves it and will have a face-off. Both teams have to be excited about their play in this first period, but I think the Bears have to be relieved to have gotten one of those goals back late in this first period.
Yeah, it would have been really tough to walk into the locker room with a 2-goal deficit in this game. So luckily for them, they're able to walk in, without a 2-goal deficit. And hopefully for them, they're going to be looking to bring that same kind of energy into the second period.
Arizona throws it up the near side boards. That's Josh Larson with it at the buzzer. Just sends it in on Stevens, and there's the horn, so that'll count as a shot. Be interesting to see the shots on goal for this first period.
Shots on goal.
Here we go.
State with 11, Arizona with 12. The score.
Well, a very evenly played first period there, Jackson. Arizona with 12 shots on goal. Missouri State with 11 shots on goal. And guess what? There's one difference on the scoreboard, too. Arizona with a 2-1 lead over the first period. Again, I think both coaching staffs have to be pretty happy with their team's efforts after one.
They do, especially when you look at all 3 goals that happened in that period were just little mistakes that led to them, So there was little gaps that were left open. You didn't pick up that second forward F2, and that led to a goal. So I think both teams have to be pretty happy with their play because as a collective period, they both played really well. It was just little mistakes that led to goals.
Yeah, kind of a surprise with 2 goaltenders are this talented. They each let in kind of an iffy goal. I think maybe there's some nerves involved here. These are 2 evenly matched, highly ranked teams. But that second goal by Trey Decker, no doubt about that. That was a skill goal that's got to get the Arizona bench excited.
Yeah, that was a really exciting play. You can't draw it up much better. A cross-crease pass with that much speed. It's almost a given goal with a player like Trey Decker. He can score. We saw it a lot last year. So I'm not surprised that he was able to tuck that behind Stevens.
Arizona with a 1-goal lead after 1 period of play. It's the University of Arizona 2, Missouri State 1. We'll be back for the second period of play after this video collection of interviews and highlights and everything to do with University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey. You're watching Arizona Wildcats Hockey.
Wildcat Hockey is back home. Save up to 20% with UofA Hockey's new FlexPack options, with access of up to 12 UofA games this season.
Your Arizona Wildcats.
Don't miss out. FlexPack tickets are available at TCC box office or call in 791-4101. That's 791-4101. Supporting a UofA hockey team just got easier with our new FlexPack ticket plans. For more information, please visit ArizonaWildcatHockey.org.
I'm Timothy Gasson. They call me the AZ Puck Man. I've been following hockey at the University of Arizona for more than 30 years. And this is my Wildcat Hockey Report. The Arizona Wildcats recently played an exhibition game against the NHL alumni team. NHL broadcaster Tom Callahan caught up with some of the major leaguers as they prepared for the game at the Tucson Arena.
Joined right now by Nate Schoenfeld as we're talking to members of the NHL alumni squad in town to play the University of Arizona Wildcats. And Nate, first of all, thanks for taking the time to join us. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's fun to be down here. Well, so you're a goaltender, and you have a dad who is an NHL defenseman for several seasons.
Yep.
How did you end up between the pipes?
Yeah, I don't know how it really worked out. I think I was the youngest of 4 kids, and so they needed a goalie, and that was the easiest way for me to get into the game. And so I jumped in there and had fun with it and just stuck with it.
What was that like for you growing up to have a dad who was playing NHL hockey?
Yeah, I mean, it was neat. He retired when I was about 2, so I didn't really get to see him too much when he got into coaching right away. And so it was fun as a kid. You know, we were around the locker room, around the players. You see that experience, and you don't really understand how special it was till later on you look back. And it really was amazing to be around those guys in the locker rooms at a young age.
So now you also have an NHL story of your own. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So, you know, it kind of fell into my lap. I skate with the Coyotes during the summertime, and a few years ago they said they needed an emergency goalie in case anything happened. And I said, yeah, why not? It's never really going to happen, but I'll add my name to the list. But sure enough, halfway through the season, you know, one of the backups got injured right before the game. So they gave me a call. I rushed down just in time to walk out on the ice, sit on the bench, and watch the game from ice level.
I imagine that must have been probably the best seat in the house. Couldn't be better.
Oh, yeah. It was unbelievable. I was a little nervous, got out to the bench, sat down. They got a few early goals, relaxed from there, and it was a blast.
All right. Well, Nate, thanks for joining us. We appreciate the time.
Definitely my pleasure.
Yeah, your suitcase had a lot of stamps on it. You've been to a bunch of different places. Yeah. What's it like? I mean, maybe not the typical career path people might think of, but, I mean, you've played hockey all over the world.
Yeah. I've been lucky and fortunate to play at a lot of different levels. And 19 years, it was 13 different countries and 13 different leagues, so it's for sure a suitcase, but a lot of good experiences, and you meet a lot of people, and even just now being down here, I've met a lot of the people that are playing for our team here tonight, so it's a good way to reconnect with people and share some stories of some experiences and a good time.
Is there any one particular favorite place that you played? I know it might be hard to pick.
Well, obviously everybody dreams the NHL, so that was a big thrill for me. But no, I liked. I was just telling Z and some of these guys that, you know, Switzerland was a lot of fun, playing in beautiful places like that, and Germany, Austria was fun, and some good stories from Russia, obviously. But just the experience of living in different countries and playing the sport you love was a big thrill for me. So I was very fortunate.
Does that help you relate maybe to kids who are from different corners of the globe because you have that experience?
Yeah, I think so. You're able to recognize where they say they're from, and, you know, have shared experiences in these different cities, and understand maybe the different paths that take them to the NHL and some of the cities that they've played in. And yeah, so it's having had played in all those different countries definitely gives you an appreciation for hockey and from the different countries that you're able to visit.
All right, Jeff, thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, we're here with Zbynek McCulloch, a guy very familiar to not only Arizona Coyotes fans, but also Tucson Roadrunners fans. Played a couple of games in this building, and, well, Z, now you've settled in the Phoenix area. First of all, welcome back to Tucson. It's good to have you.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to being here.
And let's talk a little bit about what you've done since you've left hockey now. I know that you're back in the Phoenix area, and what's life like for you?
Oh, it's good. You know, just catching up on some stuff I wasn't able to when I was playing. You know, being away from kids, you know, playing hockey, you know, it's not easy. So now I'm just enjoying being a dad and actually spending some quality time with my kids and taking them, you know, to the school every day and to their activities, and you know, just trying to, you know, enjoy that.
When you think back on your time in Arizona playing pro hockey here, what was that like for you?
Oh, it was really fun. You know, it's a nice place to play hockey and to live and you know, raise family, and you know, I had, you know, great experiences, you know, playing in both Phoenix and here in Tucson. Fans were always great to me, and you know, I have made a lot of good friends and a lot of good memories over the years.
Obviously, it meant a lot to you that you came back, you settled in this area. Is that really what drew you back, the experience of being here?
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, it's like I said, it's a great place to live, and a lot of nice people, you know, I met along the way, and been fortunate in that. And, you know, so it's a great place to live, and we enjoyed. Our kids, you know, have a lot of friends in, you know, in Phoenix area, and, you know, it's really nice, and it's hard to beat the weather, right? And it's always sunny.
Absolutely. Well, Z, thank you so much for the time. Great to have you back.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Wildcat fans. I'm Chad Berman, head coach of Arizona Hockey. I'm inviting you out for our annual Pink the Rink event. You could buy one of these jerseys and put the name of any loved one you want on the back. All proceeds go directly to the University of Arizona Cancer Center. Help us put cancer in the penalty box.
Longtime Arizona hockey fans might remember that I was the media director for the team for the first time in the late 1990s, and I found a recruiting video that I made for the team in the year 2000. Now, in the 1980s and 1990s, as college hockey got more popular, it was common for colleges to put the word ice in front of their nickname. So Arizona State were the Ice Devils, and Arizona were the Ice Cats, and that's the name that you'll see in this recruiting video, which was made a full 10 years before Arizona adopted their regular Wildcat nickname. So let's get in the time machine and go back to the year 2000 and see this Arizona hockey recruiting video.
Located in central Tucson on 352 acres, the University of Arizona is one of the top-ranked universities in the nation. Surrounded by soaring mountains in the Sonoran Desert, the campus boasts lush lawns, palm trees, and more than 300 days of sunshine each year. More than 35,000 undergraduate and graduate students attend the U of A, coming from all 50 states and more than 100 foreign countries. Arizona also has one of the most successful collegiate men's ice hockey programs in the United States, the Arizona Ice Cats.
It's a new season, a new century. But you still can't beat this cat. It's the 21st season of Arizona Ice Cat College Hockey. 18 home games at the TCC with 4 matchups against arch rival ASU.
The Arizona Ice Cats compete in Division I of the American Collegiate Hockey Association, the ACHA. All home games are played in the 7,000-seat Tucson Convention Center near the U of A campus. More than 1 million fans have packed the TCC over the years to watch Arizona Ice Cat hockey. That's an average of 5,000 fans a game, making the Ice Cats one of the top 5 draws in the U.S. for collegiate hockey at any level. Paul, for those who haven't seen what it's like to have 7,000 people at the Tucson Convention Center to cheer for the Arizona Ice Cats against a team like arch rival ASU, for instance, can you tell them what kind of madhouse it is to see the Ice Cats play in front of 7,000 home fans?
Well, it's dubbed the Madhouse on Main Street here at the TCC, and when you come in, even if you come in for a game where we'll play a St. Louis University or something, you know, that's not a big rival of ours, we're still going to have 4,000, 5,000 people in the stands, you know, screaming your name. You get to see signs with your name on it. It's uncomparable to anything I've ever had before I got here. The biggest crowd I ever played in front of was maybe 400 or 500 people in high school, a big high school rivalry.
I'm sure you were told there were 6,000 or 7,000 people for some of the games here at Arizona, but were you still surprised when you walked out onto the ice the first time in front of that many people?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's one thing being able to sit in the stands with the 6,000 people and watching, you know, the team play. It's one thing. Another thing, step on the ice in front of that many people, and it's just nuts. It's you know, the crowd's screaming. You know, you're the home team, and you know, you got your arch rival ASU down there, and just be able to play in front of that crowd. It's pretty nerve-wracking your first time out.
It is the most exciting feeling there is against Arizona State to score a big goal. I can't explain it. You get jumped on by your players. I mean, 7,000 fans cheering for you. It was a great experience. It happened to me last year twice, 2 games in a row, and it was just the greatest feeling of the year by far.
In this ACHA, you've got Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Dearborn, on and on, Iowa State. I mean, we're talking about some of the biggest hockey colleges in the country, which we play. We have a graduation rate that is far better than any other sport on the University of Arizona campus. And needless to say, they got to be an excellent hockey player. We have young men that comes out of junior A's. We've had some that come down from Division I, quote-unquote big schools, which we play anyway, but they much play here in front of 6,800 people than play in front of 1,000. There is, I guarantee you, not a fan in the country that matches our fans when it comes to making noise, bar no place in the country.
Founded in 1979, the Ice Cats' numbers are staggering. More than 400 wins, a record 18 consecutive national tournament appearances, 8 Final Four appearances, and the 1985 National Collegiate Club Championship. Mark, talk about the travel that this team takes, because many teams will play just their closest neighbors, but the Arizona Ice Cats fly all over the country to play games. Talk about the opportunities you have to play the best teams in the country.
We go on road trips all the time during the year. I mean, a lot of fun. We go all to Penn State, make it down to Chicago, out in the Midwest. California, we travel all over. We just get to play the best competition.
Are you glad you came to Tucson, Arizona, attend the University of Arizona, and play for the Arizona Ice Cats?
Oh, definitely. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made. You get to wear sandals and shorts to the rink every day and have fun playing hockey, and the school itself's a great school to go to.
You walk into this building on an ASU night, I mean, it feels different. Everybody feels it, from the fans to, the media, down to the coaching staff. Beating these guys, a couple more times, I don't think that anything could really beat that.
And the Wildcats will secure the Cactus Cup.
There's a shot to goal. Arizona takes the lead.
That is all Jake Dickinson. He's wheeling and dealing. That's my player of the game, Tim. Easy.
Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Tickets for Arizona hockey are now on sale. Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Call 791-4101 for tickets now.
Wildcat.
Welcome back to University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey. I'm Timothy Gasson with my broadcast partner Jackson Peters. And Jackson, we have one period of play in the books with Arizona ahead 2-1. This game is far from over. What does Arizona have to do in the second period to have the upper hand?
The big thing that they need to do is get the puck out of their zone, whether that's high and hard off the glass or with a precise breakout. They can't let the puck hang around in the zone with Missouri State. Missouri State is a team that has a lot of skill, and if you give them enough time, they will find a way to score. So they have to get out of the zone quicker and not let it linger, for 2 or 3 minutes like we saw in the first period. They got to get it out.
Well, Arizona did have some problems with their breakout in that first period, at times kind of running around a little bit in the defensive zone. So they have to avoid that in this second period. Well, that's not what they did all that well, but what did Arizona do well in that first period?
One of the big things that they did really well is how they entered the offensive zone. When they entered the zone, they made sure to kind of trick the defenseman in the way. That's kind of what we saw in that first goal from Ethan Stahlhuth. He had the Jets going so hard, he was moving so fast, and then he just kind of pumped the brakes a little bit, which allowed for that gapping of the gap of space we talked about with defensemen, which allowed him to get such a nice shot off. So they controlled their speed. They didn't overdo it and they didn't underdo it, especially when entering the zone, which I think is a huge skill that Arizona needs to use more often.
Well, how does Arizona start to use its speed better in this second period? We saw when they did use their speed, it turned into a couple goals. How do you get your speed going up in center ice over the blue line?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, Tim, because that brings up both points I just talked about. To get a lot of speed going into the other zone, you got to have a good breakout. So if they can control the puck when they're getting out of their own zone, they're going to be able to really bring some speed into the offensive zone of Missouri State. So I think that's the big key here is it all starts with the breakout. Get the puck out of your zone, calmly and collectively make sure you have a good handle on the puck, and then you can really put on some speed between the two blue lines.
Are you saying, Jackson, that I should start listening to you? Was that was that the subtle way that you're saying that you already answered my question?
No, I think you made a really good connection there. We talk about the speed and the breakout, but the only way you can get so much speed is you got to be good on the breakout, and I think that the Cats don't really realize that. You know, sometimes we see them, you know, they'll get a turnover from Missouri State and at the red line, and they'll try to turn on the Jets, but there just simply isn't enough ice to get all the speed that this team's capable of moving.
Okay, on Missouri State's side, what do they have to do differently? They had some good attack zone time. They did get back in the game. They're down just by a goal. What do you want to see from Missouri State?
They have got to protect their goaltender, Bailey Stevens. We saw a lot of times, you know, whether they were successful or not, Arizona made a lot of attempts to make those cross-crease passes, you know, throw pucks right in front of the net. And, you know, they didn't capitalize any of those rebound opportunities, but they're there. So Missouri State really needs to clear the puck out in front of their goaltender, Bailey Stevens, and really try to make an effort to push Arizona to the outside, because Bailey Stevens, he's a quick goaltender, and we've seen it. He can track the puck really well. So if they're able to move the Arizona shooters to the outside, he's going to be able to make those saves. So they've got to protect the middle of the ice in their zone.
Well, Arizona's back on the ice. We're getting ready to drop the puck for the second period. It's number 9, Missouri State, and number 11, Arizona. The Wildcats with a 1-goal lead. And are up 2-1 as we start this second period, and Missouri State comes away with the puck. Arizona throws it in on Stevens, though. He gloves it and just hangs on to it. Just underway here in the second period. Arizona with 12 shots in the first period, Missouri State with 11. That shows you how evenly played that period was, but also that both teams are good offensive hockey teams. They showed flashes of that. I'm not surprised that 3 goals were scored in that first period. The Cats come right away with it and get a good shot in right through the crease. That was Anthony Cusinelli really holding the puck until he thought he had the right kind of shot, but Stevens was equal to it. Cats keep the puck in the zone, past Cusinelli again. Boy, Anthony Cusinelli is good, is due for a goal, I think. As he searches for the puck there, and it just bounces into the Bear zone. So the irony is not lost on me. This was Teddy Bear Toss night, and we're playing the Missouri State Bears. But the Teddy Toss part of the entertainment is done. With Arizona's first goal, the Teddy Bears flew as Cusinelli comes over the line and falls down. Throws the puck into the near side corner. Throws the body a little bit. Well, Anthony's a little testy here in this game, trying to be physical. You know, we talked about how Cusinelli, the MVP of Arizona last year, put on some weight, some muscle this year in the off season. He looks much more muscular. As there's a tipping right on the doorstep there by Justin Plumhoff. How did that puck not go in, Jackson?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I mean. Bailey Stevens is a good goaltender. You know, he's one of those goalies in this league we don't see a lot that can stop those cross-crease passes from going in. So that's an excellent job by Bailey Stevens. But again, Missouri State needs to keep Arizona defensemen out of the front of the ice.
Boy, a great opportunity by Arizona as the puck once again kind of bounces around in the slot now to the near side. That was Ben Jones, who's having a really good freshman season, just kind of plants his man there and keeps the pressure on. Arizona having a good offensive series there. Josh Larson now also throwing the body. Arizona throwing the body around here a little bit. I think trying to draw a penalty as Josh Larson has the puck. It comes back in on Stevens. He doesn't know where that puck is, but he makes the save. It was down on the ice.
It looked like Justin Plumhoff was just thrown to the ice there by a Bear.
Nothing called, I don't think.
No, and I think the Cats got away with one earlier in that, before that whistle where there was a hit behind the net. I think that easily could have been called for a hit from behind, so I think the Cats are lucky they walked away even strength here.
Okay, well, something could have been called on each team. Instead, we play on. That's a good way for the referees to keep a flow of the game going. So no real harm, no foul. You know, neither team gets an advantage out of it. So why not just keep the playing going? That's always good to see. And play is back on. We're just underway here in the second period. Well-played hockey game, as you might anticipate, between two highly ranked teams here in the American Collegiate Hockey Association. Both teams here tied for second place in the Western Collegiate Hockey League. And they're playing they're trying to decide which of them is going to challenge University of Central Oklahoma for the league championship this year.
Yeah, you can tell that these are both teams that, you know, might think that they've been overshadowed by the University of Central Oklahoma, because that's a team that's been at the top of the WCHL for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So both of these teams want to break past that, and, you know, they're really fighting here tonight because they both want to be the new leader of the WCHL. So it'll be interesting to see if either one of these teams passes UCO later on this year.
Yeah, and UCO will come to Tucson later in the year in the second semester. But this is the most formidable challenge for Arizona here in the first semester. Of course, the biggest games of the year, always in Tucson, Arizona, will be 2 weeks from now. That's when we finish the first semester against Arizona State, our arch rival, as Arizona keeps the puck in the zone. Over to Cam Armstrong. He throws it down low, and it bounces to the far side boards. Arizona State not having as good a year as usual this year, but it doesn't diminish that rivalry at all. All of Tucson wants to see Arizona beat Arizona State here 2 weeks from now here in the Tucson Arena.
Yeah, and Arizona State's one of those teams that plays up to the U of A every time they come here. So even though they might not be having a great year, I'm sure they'll have a great game when they come to Tucson.
So this is what Arizona has to be careful about, giving the puck away at the opponent blue line. But now they're going to come away 2-on-1 if they hurry. Now 2-on-2. Can the Cats get a shot off? That's Kyle Wade trying to get a shot. Shot and a goal!
I think that was Max Meyer.
Kyle Wade did get over the blue line. He didn't quite get the shot off, but the puck came over to Max Meyer, and he's in the right place at the right time. That's called following the puck.
Yeah, that was an interesting goal, because I was talking about how the U of A need to use its speed. That entered the zone really slowly there. And the next thing you know, Max Meyer basically comes out of nowhere, and Missouri State was not prepared for that third forward to drop in and tap it in like that.
Yeah, I didn't think Wade was even going to be able to get a shot off, but he was strong enough to get that puck off to the other side of the net. And Max Meyer, this is why you trail the puck and head toward the net, scores the goal.
Number 27, Max Meyer. The assist goes to number 29, Kyle Wade. That's Meyer from Wade. Time of your Wildcat goal, 3 minutes, 43 seconds in the second period.
He shoots, he scores. So good, strong stick there by Kyle Wade. And Max Meyer gets rewarded for racing to the net and keeping his stick down. That's the kind of unexpected goal that can really change a game. And suddenly Arizona with a 3-1 lead here early in the second period over the Missouri State Bears. Wow, that has got to give a charge of adrenaline to that Arizona bench, Jackson.
Yeah, it has to, especially when it seemed to surprise, you know, even some of the Arizona players that were on the ice. They weren't expecting Meyer to come in so fast and have such a good scoring chance to be able to just tap it in there. I mean, Max Meyer didn't have to work too hard. Once he had the puck on his stick, he just had to tap it right in.
And there's another goal. Arizona has exploded. Arizona takes a 4-1 lead. There's Bailey Marshall came up, threw it in front.
I believe that was Anthony Cusinelli.
I told you Anthony Cusinelli was due for a goal, and that was all because Bailey Marshall raced up the ice, threw the puck out in front. I think Anthony Cusinelli gets that goal he's been looking for. Wow, talk about breaking it open. Arizona now with a 4-1 lead over Missouri State. You know, they say speed kills. Wow, that was a quick action there by the Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah, especially when you have such a quick shot like Cusinelli does. He had such an excellent shot there.
Give it to number 15, Anthony Cusinelli. The assist goes to number 11, Bailey Marshall. That's Cusinelli from Marshall. Time of your Wildcat goal, 4 minutes, 19 seconds in the second period.
He shoots. He scores. Anthony Cusinelli has been looking for a goal. Well, there's a broken stick by Travis Barrett. Puck comes right in on Cusinelli. On Anthony Shiro, and he makes the save. Cusinelli's been skating so well, but he hasn't lit the lamp in a few games. He gets a much-deserved goal there, but that's Bailey Marshall with his speed working behind the net, doing his magic. It's incredible to see Marshall and Cusinelli work together. The thing is about Missouri State, they have like 3 sets of those kinds of guys. When you look at the statistics, they have 3 sets of players that have the kind of point total that Marshall and Cusinelli have. So don't count out the Missouri State Bears. We are still early, just 5 minutes into the second period, and it's a 3-goal lead for the Arizona Wildcats. I'd rather, if you're rooting for Arizona, to have the 4 than to have the 1 at this point.
Yeah, and you have to think, if you're the Cats here, you can't let up.
No.
I mean, this is a team that can score 3 goals, through half a game.
And there's a giveaway right in front of Shuro, and he makes the save just as you said that. Yeah, this is a Missouri State team that scores goals in bunches. So you certainly, if you're an Arizona Wildcat, should not think that they have this one figured out. We're just 5 minutes into the second period.
And I think, the Cats had a real explosion of skill in those first 5 minutes, but you're right, Tim, they do need to be careful here. They cannot think that they've won this game, because this Missouri State team is a really talented, high offense team that knows how to score. So if you give them room, they'll keep scoring goals.
Well, and look at these 2 benches. They know what an important part of this game is. Both benches on their feet as Arizona breaks in 2-on-1 again. Can they get the shot off? There's a shot that dribbles off the side of Stevens. But Arizona's able to keep it in briefly. Yeah, both the benches on their feet. They know early in this second period, this is the vital part of this hockey game, as Arizona so far has done what it needs to. And it's, as soon as I say that, Anthony Shiro is run over. Interesting that an Arizona Wildcat didn't go over and say something to the Missouri State player who kind of ran over Anthony Shiro. We have a whistle and we'll have a face-off. No harm, no foul.
And Tim, you were talking about how, all the players on both benches are standing up. That's something interesting to see from a team like Missouri State that's down by 3 goals. That shows a lot of confidence in this team, that they know that they can come back from a 3-goal deficit. They really believe that they're not out of this game yet.
Yeah, they're looking for the response right now. As we said, when you look at the statistics and when you look at the game results for this Missouri State Bear team, they score a lot of goals. They are not out of this game. Just as Arizona, in a quick span here in the second period, scored 2 goals in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the second period. The Bears know that they can do that too. So let's see if Arizona plays a good defensive game here as Cam Armstrong comes away with the puck. Backhands it to center ice. Arizona has to regroup back in their own end. Armstrong with the puck again. Thrown up to Josh Larson right in front of the Bear bench. And the Cats are going to come away with it. Langelaar throws it into the zone now behind the Bears. There's Josh Larson again. Boy, I'm calling Josh Larson's name a lot recently. He's really skating well for Arizona.
Yeah, he's been one of those players that's been putting in so much effort, 110% every time he's out on the ice. So it's good to see players like Josh Larson that are really giving it their all. He's not a player we talk about, getting on the score sheet a whole bunch. So it's good to see how hard he's working.
Yeah, as much as I've talked about Josh Larson the last few games, you'd think he was one of the top scorers. Only with 6 points so far this season, but I get the idea that Josh Larson is starting to come on for Arizona as we're at the peak of this first semester. Such an important series of games here between Missouri State and Arizona really wanting to prove that they deserve that number 11 ranking and perhaps even more. we thought they've been underranked a little bit. Well, guess what? They're playing like they've been underranked a little bit. And Stalhuth goes into the corner, gets the puck out to the slot. There's a shot and a good save off of Bailey Marshall on Stevens.
And you were talking a little bit, Tim, about the rankings here. When talking to Coach Berman a few games ago, he was talking about how this team knows that they're a good team, but they want to make that jump up to being an elite team, and they're really trying to prove that here. So I'm not surprised that they're not letting up at all here. They're really trying to give it to this Missouri State team and prove that they deserve to have such a high ranking.
Yeah, well, it's one thing to want to be highly ranked. It's another to actually earn that ranking and show it on the ice. And we saw flashes of it last night against Arkansas, but boy, we're really seeing Arizona look like a top 10 caliber team here tonight. A lot of hockey to go. Only 8 minutes into the second period as Arizona ices the puck. They're ahead 4-1 over number 9 Missouri State. A lot of hockey to play here. Arizona played a good first period. They're playing a good second period. But as Coach Berman says, it's all about consistency. Do you play 60 minutes of hockey? You know, looking again at the season so far, it's obvious that Missouri State has learned how to play those consistent kind of games. Although in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the second period, it's Arizona that's really taking control. Boy, that puck went straight up in the air, and I'm not sure where it went. I think it went out of play. I thought it went straight up in the air, though.
Definitely a hard deflection, and that's, you know, with the puck going so high up in the air, that's a good example of what the Cats need to do here. They need to get sticks and lanes and make sure that Missouri State players can't get good shots off. You know, if it deflects out of play, you know, off the wall, that's better than it coming in hot on your goaltender.
Play back on, and Arizona gets the puck out of their zone. Off of Marshall's stick into the near side corner. Yeah, Arizona can't go into a shell here, Jackson. It's Bailey Marshall who digs for the puck, but the Bears come away with it. That's Hunter Cooley. Sends it up and coming over the line. There's a good blocker save off of Nikita Salnikov. Yeah, Arizona can't go into a cocoon here.
No, they need to play smart here, and I think one of their big
that's offside.
Things they need to do here is stay out of the box. They can't take any penalties here, and that's something we talk about a lot with this team. They gotta be smart here.
Well, that's a great point, Jackson, because the great equalizer when you are down by a few goals is if you start to have a parade to the penalty box. You know, it's like we're waiting for a volcano to erupt from Missouri State. We know they can score goals. They've only scored 1 goal here tonight, but if you give them power plays, they're going to start lighting the lamp.
Especially with, you know, both of these teams, in my opinion, being so evenly matched. When you give them that man advantage, that's a huge, you know, thing for them to do, especially considering sometimes it's not a huge deal.
Come the Cats with speed over the line. Josh Larson again with a nice shot and a good save there by Stevens. Yeah, it'd be interesting to talk to Josh Larson here sometime soon, Jackson, because is there something about his game that has changed, because he's skating and shooting so well?
Yeah, and you have to think if that's something that is self-inflicted by him, or if his coach was, you know, wanting him to step up in other areas. But this year he's been so excellent and just working so hard every time he's out there.
Play back on as Arizona controls it. Muscled off the puck behind the net, and Hunter Saunders comes back for the Bears, throws it behind the Arizona goaltender. Down to the side of the net, thrown behind. Trey Decker's going to dig for it there for Arizona. Oh, and that's going to turn into a problem. Josh Larson planted a bear. That was a good clean hit right outside the blue line, it looked like. But Josh Larson is going to draw a crowd. Oh, and there we got a wrestling match there. I think that was Jordan Bratton took down a Wildcat, and the Missouri State bench really likes that takedown. Very dangerous play. Let's hope no one is injured there.
And that initial hit, I mean, even though it looks like it might be a dirty hit, that was right at his chest. That's a clean hit.
That was a clean hit.
That can set off a player when you just get thrown to the ice.
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, the other team isn't going to like it even though it was a clean hit because, you know, Missouri State liked the bear hug and throwing the Arizona player down a lot better. That's not a clean hit, and that's not a hockey play, but they like it. But yeah, the clean hit like that is the kind that will, it's almost like a magnet. You're going to bring everyone together, and we'll see how, you know, this is so hard for a referee to figure out how to call this, who to call, and for how many minutes. Just, I mean, this is where referees really are earning their money, because when there's a little bit of a scrum like that, it's really difficult to know exactly what all is going on, especially if you didn't see the exact first thing. You're going to see the second, third, and fourth thing. So we'll see what gets called here. And we'll see which team gets an emotional burst out of this. Josh Larson really planted his man. But the Bears came back and responded physically.
Yeah, I think it all started with that huge hit, but it kind of exploded so fast. I mean, a lot of times it takes a second or two for the players to come together like that, but they were right on that play right after that big hit. So it'll be interesting to see, like you said, you know, what the penalties and the calls here end up being.
Now, Josh Larson is in the box, and I don't think that's for the initial hit. It must have been for stuff that happened after that in the scrum, because I don't think the initial hit was dirty at all.
No, especially when you're the player making that hit, you make yourself an instant target. So surely he got, you know, a couple of guys on him, and I'm sure he fought back. Josh Larson, that hardworking player we talked about, has a lot of passion for this game and these players.
Let's see how this affects the game, because we're almost exactly halfway through this game. 9:51.
And it looks like Arizona's on the penalty kill right now.
9:51 gone in the period.
Jordan Bratton, 2 minutes for holding. A Wildcat penalty on number 21, Devin Langelar. 2 minutes for holding, and Wildcat penalty on number 6, Josh Larson. 2 minutes for roughing. All penalties at 9 minutes, 51 seconds in the second period.
So Arizona comes away with the extra penalty out of that scrum. I think it's odd that Josh Larson is the one who got the roughing penalty. But as we said, so much goes on in those kinds of pileups, and Arizona's on the penalty kill. Here's the opportunity that Missouri State needs, as Hunter Cooley had the puck and he tried to backhand it, but it comes out of the zone. And again, both benches still standing. This is the opportunity that they need. Oh, the puck needs to come out of the zone there, and it does. Dawson Marshall makes sure it comes out, but the Bears come right back in. If Missouri State can score on this opportunity, the complexion of the game really changes here. Came after some physical play. And Shura was really screened there, and lucky that the puck went wide. Can Arizona get it out? No, they can't. Hunter Cooley with the puck. Sends it back to the blue line where Chris Brown has it, sends it in. Now Arizona's going to be, no, they can't clear the puck. Oh, that's on your stick. That's got to leave the zone. As the puck goes wide and now exits the zone. 28 seconds to go on the power play, and this is a big kill for Arizona. A great opportunity for the Bears after that physical altercation. You know, we say it a lot, you know, after a physical altercation, you make them pay by scoring a goal. That's how you make a team pay. As Arizona comes back 2-on-1, Stalyuth with the puck and a shot, and he shoots it wide. Ethan Stalyuth in all alone, and that was a good idea by him not to give that puck up and go for the shot. And the Cats have killed the penalty. And there's a huge hit at the end of it on Brian Schumacher. Arizona comes back the other way. So an opportunity lost for the Bears. They could have turned that physical altercation into a goal, and instead we stay 4-1. But there's a little bit more pep in their step now for the Missouri State Bears after that scrum, Jackson.
Yeah, you can tell that got them a little bit of excitement going. You can really see them moving their feet with a little, you know, extra 2 or 3 steps on their strides. So we'll have to see if that's something that carries along.
Well, the Bears are coming with a little bit more speed now after that. And Shuro protects his post and makes a good save. Manny Rowe has a word or two with the bear and then wisely skates away. Good for you, Manny Rowe. That was Chad Lounder having a chat with Manny Rowe. 7:22 to go in the second period. We got a good one. It's 4-1, but this game, it just feels closer than that somehow, Jackson.
Yeah, it does. It feels like that, I think mostly because the Arizona goals that they scored were kind of an explosion. Every goal that they scored were so quick. You know, that quick 1-2 pass and just a quick shot, and I think that's how they can score more goals, and that might be why it seems so close because, you know, the play has been so even just for a few seconds here and there where Arizona just kind of breaks away.
No, that's absolutely right. In the last couple minutes, the Bears have come on here. They had a power play and a few offensive chances. Let's see how Arizona responds to Missouri State ratcheting up the pressure a bit. Arizona still with a 3-goal lead. Here's Vela Artizone. Another one of the freshmen getting some substantial playing time here. Coach Berman not afraid to play freshmen. If they've got the talent and they're working the system and they're working hard in practice, they're getting ice time.
Yeah, especially when those freshmen, they don't get ice time immediately when they step into this program. They earn it, so it's good to see some of these freshman players getting some real ice time for this club.
The puck that bounces high into the far side corner. Cooley digging for it for the Bears, but Cats are able to get out of the zone. That's going to be an ice on Arizona, so with 6:29 to go in the period, we'll come back down into the Arizona end of the ice. We're getting close to that all-important last 5 minutes of the period, Jackson, and any score at this point could be the one that tips the balance of the game.
Yeah, I think Missouri State really needs to make something happen in this last 5 minutes.
Did I just hear Arizona took their timeout?
They did. I believe that's because that line that's been out there is going to get, you know, they can't do a change after an icing. As we know in the ACHA, if you send the puck down for an icing, the team that ices the puck cannot go for a change. So I think that's actually a really smart call by Coach Berman because it allows these players that have to stay on the ice a little extra rest, especially in a scenario like this where if Missouri State can capitalize here, that can really change the momentum of this game. It would cut this lead in half, and it would really give Missouri a chance to, you know, come back into this game.
Well, that's Coach Berman realizing, I think, exactly what we were just talking about. This is a critical part of this game. You just ice the puck. You don't want to give up a goal here with 6:29 to go. I mean, that's fascinating this early in the game to take your timeout, but I think Coach Berman just had the talk perhaps that we just had about the end of this period and how important it is to the outcome of this game. So now we'll have our face-off after Arizona has taken its one timeout that it gets in this game. With more than 6 minutes to go in the second period, Manny Rowe digging for the puck in the far side corner. Big collision there. He's going to try to pin it there. This is a physical game between these two teams. Quick shot in on Churro, but he protects his pipe there, and play continues on. Arizona doing a good job of getting the puck out of harm's way there in front of their goaltender there.
But they need to get the puck out. They've been stuck with that same line that was trapped in here on the icing.
Cusinelli with the puck now, heading up 3-on-2 over the blue line. They're calling that offside.
I think that was a close one there, Tim.
Well, the whistle blew, and that's an offside. So we'll have a face-off just outside the Bears' blue line. 5:47 now to go in the second. Arizona with a commanding 4-1 lead. But as you said, Jackson, except for a couple bursts, offensive bursts here, this has been a really evenly played game.
Yeah, and that's how I expected this game to be played. These are two really evenly matched teams, so I'm not surprised that the only times this game strays away from being even is just, you know, little mistakes that lead to turnovers that lead to real good bursts of speed by Arizona.
Well, and we've seen it a million times where teams can be evenly matched, and a bounce here, a bounce there, and suddenly there's a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what, you know, the Cats have to be careful of, because this is a team, Missouri State is, that can really bounce back. I mean, even though there's 5 minutes left in the second, it's a 3-goal lead. That's a lead that this team can overcome. They are a very talented squad. They can put up a lot of points.
Well, and a good save there by Anthony Sherrill. Yeah, we're starting to sound like worried mothers, I think, a little bit here Jackson, about our kids, you know? It's like, now wear your seatbelt. You know, you could get in an accident. Wear your seatbelt. I think it's a healthy respect for the Missouri State Bears squad, because we still have a lot of hockey to go, more than 5 minutes to go here in the second period, then a whole third period to go. As Arizona gets the puck to center ice, Josh Larson with the puck. I think he's just going to backhand it in and go and dig for it. Oh, he throws it right out in front. Oh, what a nice opportunity, almost an opportunity there for Justin Plumhoff. The puck kind of squirted over his stick. See, Arizona's gotten those kinds of opportunity goals tonight. Sometimes team guys, there's another opportunity for Justin Plumhoff that goes over his stick. Arizona's cashed in on those kinds of opportunities tonight.
Yeah, they have. They've really made excellent use out of those little turnovers by Missouri State. They've really made something happen.
The Bears go for a change. We're down to 4:29 to go in the period. Arizona looks to set it up behind Anthony Schroeder, who's played very well here tonight. His defense has played well in front of him, though, as well. That should be waved off from an ice, and play continues on. Stevens sends it up the far side boards. And Matty gets the puck up the ice, but now Ben Fury for Arizona comes back the other way. Down to 4 minutes to go in the second. Arizona's able to send it in from the blue line, but it doesn't get through. Keelan Ulnick cycles it down low. Ulnick much more active in the offensive part of the game than previously. He really activates himself pretty quickly and jumps up into the play.
Yeah, we've seen this from a couple defensemen on the Cat squad. They've really
good save there by Shuro. But you were saying the Wildcat defensemen have been jumping up into the play.
Yeah, you can see Coach Berman is really trying to use his defensemen more offensively, and a lot of these defensemen have a lot of speed, equal to, if not greater than some of the offensemen. So it's good to see that Berman is using their skill and speed.
Yeah, Ulnick and Manny Rowe both have great skating skill, and Coach Berman has kind of let them loose. Now here we have a whistle. We're gonna have a cross-checking here. We're going to have a cross-check penalty. I think this is going to be on the Bears.
And I think that's a good call there, Tim, because the puck had moved away from the play, and those four players in the corner were still kind of going at it. So I think that's a good call, especially since he was making the cross-check on a player that really wasn't near the puck.
Well, we talked about opportunities with 3:06 to go in the period. Arizona is now going to have a man advantage. Cusinelli out with Bailey Marshall, Max Meyer. Puck goes back to Cusinelli at the blue line, sends it down low. Stallings with a rebound, another rebound.
2 minutes for cross-checking. Time of that penalty, 16 minutes, 54 seconds in the second period. And it puts your Wildcats on a Hogan.
Arizona had a good opportunity early on in this power play. Let's see if they can get set up again. As Meyer comes over the line with some speed, throws it up the far side boards. Back to Meyer down low, sends it back to Cusinelli at the line. Cross ice. There's Meyer on his backhand. Stevens is down and out. Can they get the puck on net? Back to Cusinelli. Stevens is now finally up. Boy, what an opportunity there. That's a shot to goal! Shot to goal by Anthony Cusinelli! Cusinelli finds the near corner of the net.
An absolute beautiful goal by Cusinelli. It doesn't get any better than that as a shooter. Picked the corner. It went straight in for Cusinelli after that scoring drought. He's got 2 here tonight.
Wonderful seeing eye shot by Anthony Cusinelli, and that's going to be it for Bailey Stevens. Stevens is chased with 2:22 to go in the second as Cusinelli makes it 5-1 for Arizona. Looks like that's number 35, Brady Griffin, in goal now for Missouri State.
Number 15, Anthony Cusinelli. The assist goes to number 17, Ben Jones, and number 11, Bailey Marshall. That's Cusinelli from Jones and Marshall. Time of your Wildcat power play goal, 17 minutes, 38 seconds in the second period.
He shoots, he scores. And you know, Jackson, I don't think this change is a comment really on Stevens. I think that the Bears just want to change things up a little bit here.
Yeah, I don't think that's anything to do with Stevens' play. You know, he's faced a lot of good shots.
Number 35, Brady Griffin.
And if you're Missouri State here, you have to do something to try and get back into this game, you know. And I believe their coach, Jeremy Law, is going to think that replacing the goaltender might be the best way to do that.
So Jackson Peters is going to run down to the ice level for an interview over on Facebook Live immediately at the end of the second period. Head on over to our Facebook page. Jackson Peters will talk to Arizona Wildcat leaving the ice. That's in about 1:30 of game time. Now Manny Rowe has a little bit more of a few words with the Bear. He skates away. And he's talking again. As the emotion here, though, is the emotion starts to ratchet up here with Arizona now leading 5-1 over Missouri State. Anthony Cusinelli breaking this game open in the second with a couple goals. He had been skating and shooting so well, I just got the idea that something was going to break for him, and it has. And Arizona now leads 5-1. I think Missouri State may have taken its timeout, and that's what the delay is here. Or perhaps they're just having a very lengthy change. .130 to go in the second. Arizona now.
Patrick Johansson, 2 minutes for roughing. A Wildcat penalty at number 15. Anthony Cusinelli, 2 minutes for embellishment. Both penalties at 18 minutes, 30 seconds in the second period.
So the delay was actually offsetting penalties. Cusinelli in the box for embellishment. That's the second time this season, I think, that Anthony Cusinelli has gone to the box with an embellishment penalty. Basically, a penalty was taken against him, but he tried to make it seem in the official's eye a little bit larger than it actually was. It's unusual to see that actually called, but we'll skate 4-on-4 for the rest of this period, and then a few seconds into the third period as the puck bounces around past Brady Griffin. Down below a minute to go now in the second period. Skating 4-on-4. Now Arizona needs to stay out of the box here in this last 45 seconds. Not give the Bears anything to build on going into the third period. Coach Berman has to be excited about his team's effort here in the second period as they've built a 5-1 lead over number 9 Missouri State, showing great skill and speed and some good defensive play in front of Anthony Shuro as well. So Bailey Stevens was chased from this game after giving up that 5th goal. Again, I think that's more of a comment of Missouri State just trying to change things up a little bit and give another goaltender a shot. Just kind of change the script here a little bit, change the story a little bit here for this third period. Now Manny Rowe needs to skate away from this. There's a little bit of a tussle here at the horn. He does, showing good leadership there by the Wildcat.
Shots on goal in the second period.
Missouri State with 11, Arizona with 14. The score after 2 complete.
So Arizona with 14 shots on goal in that second period. Missouri State with 11. That gives Arizona 26 shots through 2 periods. Missouri State with 22. The more important number, though, is the one on the scoreboard. Arizona 5 goals. Missouri State 1 goal. Arizona with a 5-1 lead over number 9 Missouri State after 2 periods of play. A great period for the Arizona Wildcats. And the Bears have to regroup here now between the second and third period. Come out for the third period of play and let it all hang out. Of course, the same 2 teams play tomorrow night here in the rubber match Drop the puck between number 9 Missouri State and number 11 Arizona tomorrow night, 7:30 right here at the Tucson Arena. Our broadcast will start 10 minutes before the puck drop. But right now, let's look at some interviews, some highlights, and everything to do with Arizona hockey in between the second and third period, and then we'll return for the third period of play. You're watching University of Arizona Wildcats hockey.
Wildcat Hockey regresa a Tucson y tú puedes ahorrarte hasta 20% en boletos con los nuevos paquetes de FlexPack.
Your Arizona Wildcats.
Un acceso de 6 a 12 juegos esta temporada de los Gatos. Boletos disponibles en Tucson Convention Center o llamando el 791-4101. Apoya a su equipo esta temporada con FlexPack. Para más información visite ArizonaWildcatHockey.org.
Welcome into another Sunday special here at IcetimeHockeySW.com. As the sun sets on another mid-October day here in Tucson, Arizona, our focus today is on the University of Arizona hockey team as they claw their way up to the top of the ACHA D1 mountain again. The program, which has been around for years and has made impacts in the 80s, 90s, into the 2000s, is now back on the rise as the team enters this season with high aspirations, currently standing at 8-1-0 on the season and poised to make a run into the national tournament. Not enough though for Coach Berman and his team. They have aspirations of winning a national championship and bringing that title back here to the TCC in Tucson. So as we go, we're going to visit today with Coach Berman. We're going to visit with a couple of his players and give you a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes for the Cats to claw their way back to the top.
All right, welcome into another Sunday special. This is a special one. It's one that I've wanted to do for a long time. It's talking Arizona hockey. It's talking the, what I'm calling, clawing your way back up to the top. I mean, this is a program that's a proud program. It's been around for a long time. It's been down. It's been up. It's on the rise again, and part of the reason it's on the rise is in front of me right now, head coach Chad Berman. So, Chad, welcome in.
Thank you.
It's always nice to get down here to Tucson and watch hockey. I love watching you guys. I love the spirit. When I talk to other people, they tell me the same thing, that Arizona hockey is Arizona hockey. So let's talk a little bit about this season and 7-1-0 ranking.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're 8-1-0 actually.
8-1-0,
yeah.
okay.
We don't want to throw them away yet.
Yeah,
we earned those.
All the way 8-1-0.
You know, we're obviously really excited about our start. We thought we had a chance to be a good team, but you know, until you get into the trenches, you don't really know what you're made of from an intangible standpoint. But I think we've been tested in a lot of ways between injuries and travel and lack of ice, and so far we've been able to overcome all those things. I couldn't be happier. I mean, I think the results are the product of a lot of small details, and I couldn't be happier with the way we've handled the intangibles and the little challenges we've had along the way. I think it's a good sign for us moving forward.
So that's this year. Let's back up a step. About 4 years ago, when you and I got together for the first time, and I saw you over on campus in the rec building, and we talked, and you were taking over a program that you didn't really know what you had, right?
Yeah, just yes and no. I mean, I knew I was in for a challenge. That was 4 years ago, but it feels like I've aged 25 years since then. So I knew I was in for a challenge, especially culturally. You know, the reputation of the program before wasn't a hockey first mentality, and you know, our mentality here is school comes first, hockey comes second, and then the extracurriculars and the fun stuff that comes with being a college student. They should do that, and you know, this weekend they got off, they get to enjoy that stuff. We try to find balance, but we've kind of finally gotten this program to a spot where we're committed and all on the same page, and we come to the rink to accomplish the same things.
And accomplishing the same things right now, you guys have a goal in mind. I know that the national tournament is not just where you want to be, it's what you want to win, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. At the very least, make a run. I think, it's tough to win that tournament. I asked Coach Powers, even when some of those top teams he had, it takes more than talent. I think if you look around the league, it's kind of everybody chasing Lindenwood right now. They've been off to an incredibly impressive performance to start here. But I think if you can get to that Final Four, to those quarterfinal matchups, you solidified yourself as a top program in the country. And so we'd like to get to that point and then go from there. I think that's a reality now, and we're only going to continue to grow and build from there.
4 years ago when I founded Icetime Hockey Southwest, one of my goals was to help increase the visibility of hockey in the Desert Southwest. That was where I was at, right? Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd see the programs build the way they are. Your program has gone up leaps and bounds. UNLV's put a program out there that's gone to D1. Grand Canyon is challenging for that level. NAU's been dominant at D2. ASU's been up and down, but they're what they are, right? They're always there, and they're always a nemesis, especially to you guys.
Yeah.
So club hockey has taken, in my estimation, over the last 3 years for sure, has taken some great strides in the Desert Southwest, and I don't think you guys are getting the credit that you guys deserve.
Yes and no. I mean, I agree. First, I hate the term club hockey. Anybody who's played with me before would agree. It just with the work that goes into this, it sounds like it's a intramural sport, and it's far from it. These guys are. We treat this program like an NCAA program. We feed them well. We take care of their travel. We push them. We expect a lot, and they're getting a tremendous education on top of it. But I think what you're seeing is the league's grown so much. The depth of this league is just so different than what it was about 10 years ago when I first got into it. And I think you're seeing more and more people are seeing the appeal to these schools out west that can provide that big school experience that you can't get at the Division III level. And speaking for myself, I went to Fredonia. I loved my time at Fredonia. It was a great place to play. I had a bunch of buddies from juniors on the team and enjoyed it. But when you come see, a place like this that you can play in front of 4,000 or 5,000 fans against Arizona State, weaving in and out of palm trees and get a business degree or an engineering degree like you can here, it really is a full package. And so I think you're seeing more of the BCHL, CCHL kids starting to realize the opportunity to get a great education, get the full college experience, and play at a very high level of hockey, and that's catching on all over. And I'm certainly proud of our growth, but I'm also proud of the growth of the programs you just mentioned, because we're all leaning on each other to build programs so that we can have that competitive schedule and keep our travel within reason, so that we're all keeping an affordable budget and competing with those teams out east and in the Midwest who have those 2, 3, 4 hour bus trips to their advantage. We just don't have that right now, but we're hoping to continue the growth so that we can get to that point.
We need you. We need you.
We need you to support Wildcat hockey.
The Wildcats are back in action, and it's time to show your U of A pride at the TCC Arena. Please call for tickets or come to the TCC box office. U of A hockey is affordable and fun for the entire family.
We need you.
We need you.
We need you to support U of A Wildcat hockey. Welcome back to University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey. I'm Timothy Gass, and I'm with Chris Perry, who's the commissioner of the Western Collegiate Hockey League. Now, this is the league that the University of Arizona competes in. It has 8 members. Arizona and Arizona State are both members of it. And Chris, for hockey fans who may not know, what exactly are the duties of a league commissioner?
A lot of people are probably asking that. I do the scheduling I do all the league scheduling. We have a 22-game schedule for each conference member, and so what I do is I get the pleasure of building that, which is kind of a pain, and then I deal with a lot of eligibility issues. I also deal with a lot of just building issues. If someone has a net, whether it's is this kid eligible, or is there supplemental discipline, or hey, I can't get to Tucson in time, can you call the coach, or that sort of thing. I handle a lot of administrative duties, so the coaches, all they have to do is focus on playing hockey.
Now, you didn't get into hockey as an administrator of a league. You actually have a history with the University of Oklahoma hockey program. So can you explain a little bit about your involvement with Oklahoma hockey and how that kind of grew into your role as a commissioner of the WCHL?
Sure. I was, for years, I helped out the University of Oklahoma hockey team. I was I wasn't there when they started. I got there about 2 months after they started, and I was a loudmouth in the crowd. They had a terrible public address announcer, and I said,
"This sounds familiar, Wildcat fans."
I said, "Any monkey can do this," and they said, "Okay, monkey, come on." So I started doing that, and then I said, "Well, geez, you guys don't have a Twitter. Well, you don't do this, you don't do that," and they said, "Can you do that?" So I, like a dummy, I said yes. So I took on more and more issues and more and more things for Oklahoma. Eventually became their general manager and did an awful lot of recruiting for them, and turned them into, I didn't, it's not me, but me and the bunch of folks that I work with turned them into a pretty, at the time they were a dominating team, a top 10 team, always going to the national tournament. And from there, it just turned into this. I wanted to get away from that team aspect, focus more on the league and the conference, and here we are.
Well, and this is important for hockey fans to remember. Teams just don't happen to roll out onto the ice. They don't just happen to have a schedule. It's guys like Chris Perry that help make this happen. It's important to understand there's a lot of people not on the bench, not in uniforms, that help make these teams possible. Let's talk a little bit about the WCHL. This is a very good league. Some might even contend the best league in Division I of the American Collegiate Hockey Association. Certainly a lot of ranked teams. Yep. And over the last couple of years, the ACHA Division I champion has come from the WCHL. Can you talk about the pride?
You keep talking. I like this. This is awesome.
Can you talk about the pride of the member institutions in this league and just how strong it is, top from bottom? You know, this is the number 7 ranked team in the WCHL, in the standings, rather,
right?
In Missouri State playing Arizona, but still a good hockey team.
Very good hockey team. Yeah, we're very proud. The Western Collegiate League, obviously, I think it's best. There are 60 teams in the ACHA. I think you can argue that the Western Collegiate League or the Central States Collegiate League that only has 5 teams, I think you can argue that we're 1 and 2, back and forth. The national champion obviously has come from our league the past 2 of the past 3 years. It's come from the Central States League the other couple of years. So we're neck and neck, and we're very proud. We have some great schools, University of Arizona, ASU, even though I know the folks in Tucson don't think ASU is a great school. But Oklahoma,
they're a good
Colorado,
hockey team, though. We will admit that they're a good hockey team.
They're a good hockey team. But we have we have name schools when you recognize Arkansas, even Missouri State, Colorado State. We're a conference of big name schools, and we're a conference out here in the West where geography is not our friend, but we figured it out, and I think we put on a heck of a show for over 22 games during a regular season, and it's the proof is in the pudding. We get to the national tournament, and not only do we win games, we win championships.
Now,
so we're proud of that.
Chris, is there a possibility to have this league turn into 2 divisions where there are more Western teams like Utah or UNLV, or more regional teams for Arizona and Arizona State that help travel for the teams that are more Western? Is it a possibility in the future to have 2 divisions in the WCHL?
Absolutely. Now, the Western Collegiate League is founded on the premise of, again, geography not being our friend, and budgets being very restricted. We have to have a travel partner. That's why UofA and ASU are travel partners. The 2 Oklahoma schools, the 2 Ozark schools that are out here in the desert this weekend, the 2 Colorado schools. UNLV is now going to be Division I. Utah is Division I. If those schools were to have a travel partner, then yes, that could possibly fit into our mix. And yes, we could then look at expansion, and then we could do possible divisions, east, west, north, south. I mean, there's a lot of variations that would further reduce the stress on teams' budgets.
So just one last question. If you had one goal for the WCHL for the rest of the season, other than to have a member win the ACHA Division I championship, but if you had one other goal for the WCHL for this season, what would it be? What is your mandate to achieve for the Western Collegiate Hockey League for the rest of the season?
Well, you took my goal, so that you knew where I was going.
Yes, the University of Arizona being the national champions. We understand that is your goal. Actually, that's our goal.
That's your goal.
That's our goal.
My goal, and it's maybe not a mandate as much, is I would like to have 6 teams in the national tournament. 6 teams out of the top 20, I think, and actually it'll be top 18 since a couple of spots will get eaten up by auto bids. 6 out of the top 20. Top 18, 1/3 of the Nationals field coming from our conference, I think would be a hell of a deal.
That would be an incredible accomplishment.
Yes.
I think this can be done too.
Well,
I think it's very feasible, isn't it?
We just need to win a few more games here and get Colorado State to win a couple of more games and solidify their spot, keep Oklahoma from sliding, and I think we'll be okay.
We've been talking with Chris Perry. He's the commissioner of the Western Collegiate Hockey League. Thank you for joining us in Tucson and in Arizona this weekend. Thank you for your work with the WCHL. And stay with us, Wildcat fans. We'll be right back to bring you the 3rd period of this game between Missouri State and the University of Arizona. Arizona leads 5-2 after 2 periods of play. We'll be right back with more University of Arizona Wildcats hockey.
Hello, Wildcat fans. I'm Chad Berman, head coach of Arizona Hockey. I'm inviting you out for our annual Pink the Rink event. You could buy one of these jerseys and put the name of any loved one you want on the back. All proceeds go directly to the University of Arizona Cancer Center. Help us put cancer in the penalty box.
Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Tickets for Arizona hockey are now on sale. Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Call 791-4101 for tickets now.
And welcome back to University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey. I'm Timothy Gasson. I'll be bringing you the third period along with my broadcast partner Jackson Peters. And Jackson, the Arizona Wildcats really broke open that game in this second period. Now leading 5-1 over number 9 Missouri State.
Yeah, they did. And even though they're headed into this third and final period here with a 4-goal advantage, I was able to speak to Ben Jones, and he said that there's no reason they should let down here. This is a team that is definitely capable of scoring 4 goals in a period. This is a very talented hockey team, and it's good to know that the University of Arizona understands that this is a good hockey team, and they need to play this final period the same way they played the first two. They can't let up at all here.
You know, I think something that might help the University of Arizona is their play in this first period has been building, but it's been inconsistent at times. They haven't played complete games. So it's not like they've been operating at optimum temperature for a long time. They still have a lot to prove to themselves that they can play 60 minutes after 60 minutes. So I think that might actually be a help for them because they're really building to this crescendo of these games against Missouri State.
Yeah, and the big thing is they have to find a way to get that consistency here. They have to find a way to really build on what they did in the first two periods and, finish this third period out strong and then find a way to win, win with enough strength and power to, carry that into tomorrow night's game.
So both teams a little bit late getting out to the ice here. Well, as soon as I say that, the Missouri State Bears pair getting ready to take the ice for this third period of play. Now remember, both teams will play again tomorrow night here at the Tucson Arena in the rubber match, Arizona and Missouri State. 7:30 p.m. we drop the puck. Our broadcast starts at 7:20. Now the Bears take the ice for this third period of play. Now, Bailey Stevens was chased late in that second period for the Missouri State Bears. And Brady Griffin has come in now to take the rest of this game. And as we said, I don't think that's a comment on Bailey Stevens' level of play in the game. Sometimes, and I'm just guessing here because we have not talked to Coach Law from Missouri State about this, but sometimes the coach just wants to change things up a little bit and kind of change the mood on the ice and by changing a goaltender when your team just isn't performing right.
Yeah, and sometimes that has to do with the energy of your skaters. If they notice that a coach, he's looking to make changes, he changes the goaltender, they know that he's still trying to work hard to win this game. He's not giving up. So, if you're Missouri State, you have to do something. And for Jeremy Law, I'm sure he saw that as, the first thing they needed to do in order to try and get back in this game.
So the Wildcats are now back on the ice, and we'll get ready for the third period of play. Now, immediately following the game, Jackson Peters will race down to center ice and talk to Coach Berman and the player of the game. That's part of our broadcast here. And then a few minutes after that, head over to our official Facebook page for the University of Arizona, and we'll have the press conference in the coaches' room on our Facebook page. But we still have 20 minutes of hockey before we get there. What does Missouri State need to do in this first 5 minutes of this game, Jackson?
Well, to put it simply, they need to get a goal. I mean, that's a lot easier said than done. But if they want a chance of coming back and winning this game, they got to get a goal quick here. They got to build some momentum for themselves.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, they've got to score that next goal, that's for sure, to try to change the script in this game. They've changed their goaltender. And we'll see if they can change the scoreboard next. And, confidence is a tenuous thing in a hockey team. The Bears come in here ranked number 9, tied with Arizona for number 2 as the puck goes wide of the net in second place in the WCHL. But they have to have a little bit of their confidence shaken here, down by 4 goals entering the third period.
And like we talked about, this is a very good team on the road. They have yet to lose in regulation on the road. So this has definitely got to shake them up to, be down by 4 in the third period on a road game.
Well, it's something they haven't experienced before, and as we all know, you find out a lot about your team and your teammates when you face adversity. Well, the Missouri State Bears have a lot of adversity right now, down by 4 goals early in this third period, but boy, moving the puck around. Anthony Shuro very fortunate there that there wasn't a Bear there with his stick on the puck, as he wasn't quite sure where it was, but the Wildcats go for a change, and Bears try to move now, you can see, as quickly as possible. They know they have a lot of ground to make up. As the puck goes into the bench area.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, here's your Chuck-a-Puck winner tonight.
So we're just underway in the third period. Arizona with a commanding 5-1 lead over the number 9 Missouri State Bears. A lot of hockey to play here, but even if you can't win this game, as we know, Jackson, there's going to be some coaching to set up the attitude about tomorrow night's game. So if, as this period goes along and we find that this game is out of reach, we'll have to keep an eye on what the Bears do to try to set the tone for tomorrow night. Now, sometimes that can be physical. Sometimes you can get more physical, and but there's other things that teams can do to try to set their attitude for the next game. It can be just as simple as puck control, playing a disciplined game, just playing as if the scoreboard is 0-0. There's lots of things that coaches can do when a game is out of reach to try to reset the mental attitude for Missouri State, because they've got to be their confidence just a little bit shaken here.
Yeah, and you're certain that they're definitely thinking about the face-off again here tomorrow night. But I think you have to enforce to your players here, if you're Jeremy Law, that whoever wins this game, they don't win tomorrow night's game by default. That's a totally different game. They just need to focus on doing their best here tonight, and then once this game's over, focus, it's a new game, new day, and do their best to, bring a different attitude to the rink, maybe switch some stuff up pre-game, put themselves in the best spot to not have a repeat of tonight.
Well, and on Arizona's side, such a young squad for Arizona, a lot of freshmen. Coach Berman has to remind them, you didn't win Saturday's game tonight. So it's exactly the same thing. A 4-goal lead today could be a 1-1 game going into the third period tomorrow. So it's fascinating to see how success and failure can set up your attitude for the second game of a series. We still have 17:50 to go in the third period of this game. Wildcats up 5-1, but Missouri State over the line. Throws it in on Shuro. He kicks it to the near side. Max Meyer picks it up there. Meyer already with a goal here tonight. Missouri State working quickly and getting goals in on net. So the Bears have kept their intensity and their focus. They're just trying to, I think they're trying to act a little bit decisively with the puck and trying to move up, down by 4 goals.
And you can tell here, Tim, they're not making a lot of these fancy passes and moves. If they get the puck in a good shooting lane, they take the shot. They don't look for the pass. They're trying to get pucks on net, and hope just hope for the best.
Well, Arizona scored a couple opportune goals and then a couple really beautiful skill goals to build this 5-1 lead over the number 9 Bears on Teddy Bear Toss Night. And that happened early in the first period. The first Arizona goal, and the Bears went flying. For charity, nothing better than scoring that first goal and having the Bears fly. Well, there is one thing better, and that's playing really well against a top 10 team and having the lead in the third period. That's what Arizona has right now. Cats can't just go in a cocoon there as the puck bounces around very dangerously in front of Shuro. And I really like the attitude of this Missouri State squad here in the third period. They're just coming at Arizona.
Yeah, they're just trying to do, I think they understand that a 4-goal differential is a huge differential in the last period of a hockey game. So they're just trying to, get pucks in the net and really put some pressure on Shuro, both to try and get back into this game tonight and show that this is a team that can put a lot of pucks on net. So Arizona, they don't undertake them tomorrow.
Play back on now as Arizona ices the puck. So we're just 3:22 into this third period. Arizona up 5-1. And if Arizona holds on here, they will be tied with Central Oklahoma pending the result of the next Central Oklahoma game. For the lead in the WCHL, they were down by just 2 points or one game. If the puck comes in and there's a shot, I swore that was going to be a goal by Bailey Marshall. I think somehow that went wide. He went to his backhand. He was tripped by the goaltender there. It's amazing that Bailey Marshall missed the net there, actually.
Yeah, I know. He looked like he tripped over the goaltender that was diving out, but I mean, you can't put Bailey Marshall on a much better opportunity to score a wide open net, but luckily for Missouri State, he just got tripped up on the play.
Well, and no call for tripping either, so we'll just continue play. That was a fascinating play, actually. As there was a little lapse there in concentration by Missouri State. Oh, there's a high hit there. Oh, and a swipe back on Manny Rowe. Manny Rowe had been jawing with some Bears, and he took a hit to the head there and then just took a swing back at a Bear, so keep an eye on that. So I think we have puck hit with a high stick perhaps and a whistle, so we'll come outside of the zone. Keep an eye on Manny Rowe for the rest of this game because he'd been tussling a little bit and talking, jawing with some Missouri State Bears. He took a shot to the head there and then responded. Everyone skated away, but that's part of this attitude setting for tomorrow night's game that we're talking about.
Yeah, you can't, if you're, Manny Rowe there, you can't let this team forget, who they're playing. You want to show them that you're not going to let down tomorrow and through the rest of this game. So Manny Rowe, we know he's kind of a chatterbox. We see him talking a lot on the ice, so I'm sure that he knows that he can get under the skin of some of these players and have it last into tomorrow.
Play continues on, and the Cats try to pin it against the boards, but Missouri State comes away with it. With some speed up ice, Travis Barrett with the puck over the line. Attempts to get the puck back to Barrett, but there's just a cat there. That's Trey Decker already with the goal here tonight. Just sends it down to Josh Larson. Back to Plumhoff. And now back to center ice, and Missouri State just sends it into the far side corner and goes for a change. Can Arizona carry out? They do, but don't connect on the pass out of their own end, and Missouri State regroups. A little more than 5 minutes into this third period, it remains Arizona 5, the Missouri State Bears 1. There's a shot that Churro saw all the way. He gloves it, and a little more talking going on after the whistle between Ben Jones.
And a lot of that has to come from Missouri State's frustration. I mean, you're down by 4 goals in what seems to be a pretty even game. We talked about several times how the U of A's in the lead because they had a few bursts of speed, a few, lucky bounces that led to goals. So, I mean, Missouri State's played a good game, so they have to be frustrated. And I'm sure that's a lot for that little bit after play roughhousing, as I'll call it.
Play back on, a little sloppy in the Arizona end of the ice. So a shot that deflects up and over the goal. Missouri State just wants to see that red light go on and create something good for themselves. Arizona needs to get the puck out of the zone, and they finally do. Arizona had a little bit of this problem in the first period where they didn't have a clean breakout of their own end. Maybe it's hard to get that intensity back when you have a 4-goal lead.
Yeah, I think a lot of the guys here are thinking defense first. I mean, you got to be thinking of how you're going to protect your net. You're not too worried about scoring more goals here. You just want to protect that lead. So I think that might have something to do with it. They're not always looking for the breakout passes they might have been early on in this game.
So Max Meyer breaks in and just sends it in on Griffin in relief of Bailey Stevens in goal for the Bears. And it pops up in his glove, but he makes the save. So we'll have a face-off to the left of Griffin. 13:50 to go now in the game. Oh, Cam Armstrong got beat there against the as the puck went into the Arizona end of the ice. Luckily, it comes out the other end and back to center ice. That showed the speed of the Bears there as Cam Armstrong, the defenseman, was beat on the outside and the shot got away. There's Shuro trying to swipe that puck away, and he does very calmly too. Here's a Cat freshman, Vale Artizone. He almost had a break there. Puck comes back to Artizone. He's pinned against the wall, and we continue on. Manny Rowe let that puck went over his stick, so he regroups. Puck comes back to Rowe, and he tips it into the zone. 13 minutes to go now in the game. Arizona 5-1. Bailey Marshall tries to get it to his brother in front, and we have a whistle. Not quite sure why, and some jousting behind the net. I think that was Bailey Marshall and check that, his brother, Dawson Marshall, number 10. A little bit of pushing and shoving, but they skate away. You'd like to see that too.
Yeah, and that was a nice, rough play by Dawson Marshall there. He didn't let the Missouri State player, start something with him, but he just kind of pushed him off and said, hey, I'm walking away from this. I'm not doing anything here that's going to put my team in the box.
Yeah, good for him. Smart play. I like that song. Play back on now as Anthony Cusinelli has it right in the slot, and it's tipped over the net and out of play. Boy, you cannot let Anthony Cusinelli stand in the slot there and get the puck on his stick as it came to him. He has a really quick release, too. Luckily, that deflected out of play, so we'll have a face-off to the right of Brady Griffin. One by Arizona. They attempt to get it out to Marshall in front, but the Bears are just going to bang it to center ice. Manny Rowe with the puck now. There's an example of just kind of letting go of the puck without a real reason to let go of that puck or without a real destination for that puck. But we have a whistle and we'll come back into the Missouri State end of the ice.
Yeah, and one thing the Cats, they're still struggling with, even in a 5-1 lead, is sometimes some of the passes they make, they don't really make sure that they're going tape to tape. They just kind of expect, one of their teammates to be there.
Stalhuth digs for the puck behind the Bears' net. But the Bears break out, and that's how you break out of the zone. Nice decisive first pass that comes down into the Arizona end of the ice. Shot goes over the goal into the near side corner and comes back out to center ice. We're 8 minutes into the third period. Arizona with a commanding 5-1 lead over number 9 Missouri State. The Bears skating well here in the third period, though.
Yeah, I think this is
Arizona comes away with the puck. Justin Plumhoff with a break, and he shot that high and wide. I think he may have been affected a little bit by the defenseman's stick there. Justin Plumhoff with a good break. Here comes Josh Larson along with Plumhoff over the line. Larson was almost tackled there at the blue line. He's okay, he's gonna get up.
And it looks like Arizona's getting the penalty here. It looks like something might have happened before Josh Larson was tripped up on that play.
Ah, that's pretty weird. That's Ben Jones heading to the box after Josh Larson, who took his time getting up because he was tackled at the blue line. So, something for the Bears to build on here in the third period. 11:36 to go in the game. They'll have the man advantage. Now, we keep talking about the offensive prowess of Missouri State. Here's another opportunity for them.
And a lot of this has to do with, Anthony Shuro's played great tonight.
Ben Jones, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Time of that penalty, 8 minutes, 24 seconds in the third period.
Boy, that must have been far away from the puck because I sure didn't see that, Jackson.
No, I didn't, but the official blew the whistle while Ben Jones had the puck in the offensive zone, and it wasn't offside, so surely it must have happened while Ben Jones was carrying the puck.
So a minute and a half to go on the power play for the Bears. but they give the puck away briefly to Arizona. This is interesting. Bailey Marshall, top scorer for Arizona, out on the penalty kill.
Yeah, he's one of those players that just has such a diverse range of tools that he can use. He's one of the top power play guys, and he's one of the top penalty kill guys. He just is such a skilled player that he can really do it all, and that's a really valuable asset to have on the team.
Well, and like a quarterback on the penalty kill, he instructed his teammate, I'm heading to the bench. You just send that down the ice. So Arizona wastes a little bit more time, but here come the Bears with speed. It's a shot in on Shuro. He holds his post and makes a good save. That was a nice burst of speed up the wing by the Bears there on the power play.
An excellent display of the speed that this Bears team has. I mean, if they bring that the whole game, the Cats could have a real hard time, keeping up with that amount of speed.
Well, let's talk about what the effect of the third game in 3 nights will have on both these teams. These are both speed teams, but you can be the best conditioned athlete in the world. It is so difficult to play 3 hockey games in 3 nights. How much speed will either team have tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I still expect a lot of speed from both of these teams, but you're right, Tim. The third game in 3 days, that is an incredibly difficult game to play. We talk about how, the start of a second game on a weekend may not be as difficult, but the third game, some of these guys are just dog tired. So it'll be really interesting to see if the speed we've seen by both teams here tonight will even resemble the speed we see tomorrow night.
Play back on. The Cats killing off this penalty. 20 seconds to go as Missouri State tries to wheel back up ice. Cats able to drag more time off of this kill. Just 10 seconds to go now on the man advantage. And that'll do it. Arizona, well, we have a whistle. With 2 seconds to go on the penalty, I think we're going to have a face-off just outside or just inside. Well, all the way inside the Missouri State zone.
And Missouri State definitely here. They have to be looking for something to be positive and happy about going into tomorrow. You can't walk into a second game against a team and have all negative. So in this last 10 minutes, I expect them to really try to do something that, they can go home and reflect about, be happy about going into tomorrow.
Well, that power play was the opportunity for that, wasn't it? And Shuro played well, and the Cats killed it off. More than halfway through the third period now, Arizona with a 5-1 lead over Missouri State. And there's Hull for Arizona making a nice move with his stick and sending it down the ice. Not a lot of concerted offensive time here for Arizona. Missouri State with a little more room to skate, but they're having to move up ice, and it's leaving Arizona some opportunities. If they can get the puck out with some speed up the ice, they could have some breaks here. We've already seen that a couple times.
Yeah, Missouri State hasn't had a lot of zone possession, a lot of controlled possession in Arizona's zone, which has allowed Arizona to get some quality breakouts, just like the one we saw just there.
Here comes Larson, Josh Larson skating well with the puck over the line, really skating well. He got it right in front to Justin Plymouth. There's a goal! Arizona makes it 6-1. I was just saying that Josh Larson was skating with some speed and effort, and it turns into a goal for Arizona. Now it's a 6-1 game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that goal is all Josh Larson. He took it along the wall. He protected the puck so well, one hand on his stick, and he sent it right to the front of net. But, that was an excellent, I'm going to give that goal to Josh Larson, even though he had the assist. That was such hard work by him.
Boy, a great example of Josh Larson skating hard and making that goal possible. We'll wait for the call here.
So Wildcat goal, give it to number 19, Justin Plummer.
The assist goes number 6, Josh Larson. That's Plummer from Larson. Time of your Wildcat goal, 11 minutes, 36 seconds in the third period.
So Plumhoff with the goal, but as we said, Josh Larson gets a big assist on that one. Boy, and you love when you pay off that kind of offensive thrust right into the offensive zone, and then you pay that off. Wow, Arizona has really produced on their skill plays. When they've had skill opportunities, they've buried the puck.
And again, that was another goal that came off of a quick burst of energy and speed. We've seen it all night long, and that was just yet another example of this Wildcat team can really turn it on for a few seconds here and there and just really blow past some Missouri State defenders.
Here's Keelan Olenek with a really good stick there to prevent a breakaway, and then a little bit of a tussle. Look at this right in front of the linesman, and that will be a roughing call. I did what? I did what? The referee was looking right at him. He's going, I did what? I did what? He was hitting Olenek from behind for 10 seconds. That's Travis Barrett. He just didn't know the referee was watching him. Olenek was turned around, and Barrett was hitting him on the back of the head for about 10 seconds. The whistle blows, and he turns around and literally gives the Universal Hockey player, what? What, me?
And that was a real nice hockey play, in my opinion, by Olenek to just kind of stand there and take it. He knew the ref was watching it, and he knew he was going to draw a penalty if he just stood there and, didn't retaliate.
Missouri State penalty on
Number 12, Travis Barrett, 2 minutes for roughing. Time of that penalty, 12 minutes, 52 seconds in the third period. And it puts your Wildcats on a Hogan Transportation power play.
And you know what? Travis Barrett's lucky there that that's just a 2-minute minor. And I think that's all that really was a 2-minute minor. But Arizona goes back on the power play. But every hockey player on every team has had that universal when they're caught. What, me? I didn't do anything. No one ever admits. No one goes to the box. Well, I've seen it a couple times. It's actually kind of funny. He says, yep, that was me. I did that.
Yeah, it's a very rare thing to see in hockey. I mean, even when you know a guy did it, they'll never admit to it most of the time.
Yeah. Cusinelli with the puck. He tries to dipsy doodle. Just got the dipsy part done. Goes down to Bailey Marshall. Tried to go cross ice back to Anthony Cusinelli, but it pops out to center ice. Now down to Marshall. Down low over to Max Meyer with a goal here tonight. This is so weird. Jackson, like last night, pretty evenly played game for much of the game, but we looked up at the scoreboard in the third period and suddenly it was 7-1.
Yeah.
To say it's a surprise that it's 6-1 right now, Arizona over number 9 Missouri State. I mean, I'm not surprised that Arizona has played well and has a lot of skill, but Missouri State hasn't had a game like this all year.
No, especially when you consider that it seems Missouri State matched a lot of that skill and speed all night long that Arizona did. I don't think that this 6-1 score really reflects the effort or the talent of Missouri State here tonight.
No, I don't think so at all. That's why, tomorrow's game, it's up to who knows. Play back on now. We're almost down to just 5 minutes to go in the game. The power play is almost over. Arizona really hasn't done much with it. They sent the puck right across the crease, but no one was home to tip it home. Here's Olenek also skating very well. Sends the puck down low. There's a cross-ice pass that there's a good stick in there to keep it from going to Langolier. It's going to be hard to get that stick right across the crease or the puck right across the crease like that. So that'll do it for the power play. 4:40 to go in the game. Now it's a matter of how each team finishes this one up. I think the result has been determined as Travis Barrett with a good burst of speed there put the puck wide. I mean, will the frustration for Missouri State really dictate some of their behavior here in this last 4 minutes? Will Arizona play disciplined hockey, and what will they do in the last 4 minutes of this game? To set themselves up for success for tomorrow.
I mean, if you're either team here, you have to play calm. We saw it last night how there were, some scrums that led to some player ejections that resulted in players not being here tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
So you have to be careful as both teams here to not let your feelings get the most of you here, not retaliate, so you have a full squad headed into tomorrow night's game.
I think these are two really well-coached, mature teams. Well, Arizona, a very young team. But I'll bet you were exactly right, and that's what we're going to see from both of these teams. They've got a big game here tomorrow night that'll really determine a lot. And so I'll bet you we're going to see some good, calm play here in the last 3:25 of this game. Now remember, immediately following the game, Jackson Peters will have our player of the game and interview with head coach Chad Berman at center ice. And then I'll do a quick wrap-up here. of tonight's game between Arizona and Missouri State. There's a high shot that comes in on Shuro. What a calm goaltender. He's looked very calm and in control tonight.
Yeah, he's shown a lot of calmness, and you know, it's surprising to see how calm he's been, especially after that one goal he did let in. You know, his play style didn't change at all. He stayed controlled. You know, he follows the puck really well, and tonight his rebound control has really impressed me. You know, he hasn't let a lot of rebounds go into the middle of the ice and allow for Missouri State to get those second and third chances. He's played an excellent game, in my opinion.
He might be your player of the game, Jackson. If you had a vote, now Coach Berman decides who the player of the game is as the Artizone broke down the ice. Coach Berman decides who the player of the game is, but if you had a vote, and if I had a vote, who would we vote for?
Well, Tim, you know I'm biased. I love hardworking players, and I'd have to go Josh Larson. He has 2 assists on the night, but he's worked so hard tonight, and I think he's really given his team a burst of energy tonight that, you know, that won't show up on the score sheet, but you can tell, you know, if you're a fan of hockey, how much, you know, energy Josh Larson brings to this team.
When you get the player of the game from Coach Berman, go ahead and suggest that. Say, Tim and I think Josh Larson. and see, I've changed it before at Coach Berman's a vote at that, and he goes, really? Okay, go with that. So let's give Josh Larson a try.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
down there,
that'll
Tim.
be interesting. That'll be interesting to see who Coach Berman picks, and if he listens to your pick.
But then again, Anthony Cusinelli with 2 goals after going on a bit of a scoring drought.
Yes.
So I mean, there's a few players.
And you could feel it. You could feel it coming from Anthony. You could feel that coming. So it's great when you feel it coming, and the guy actually delivers and buries that puck. So that's great for him. And of course, Anthony Shuro has played well for Arizona too.
Yeah, there's been a ton of good players here tonight for Arizona. And luckily for Arizona, you know, there's multiple choices you could have for a player of a game. You know, isn't one clear-cut guy.
Here comes Max Meyer, really skating well here. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Berman says this is a team win, no best player, no player of the game. That could be a good thing, too, because this really has been a team victory for Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, every offensive line has scored tonight. We've seen, you know, Stahlyuth, Decker, Meyer, Cusinelli, and Plumhoff. I mean, everybody's, you know, contributing to this win tonight.
Well, I mean, that's a great point. We've been talking about, as Jackson gets ready to go down to center ice, we've been talking about how Arizona has a couple great scores and looking for that secondary scoring. Boy, we saw that secondary and tertiary scoring both last night and tonight. So this is going to be a huge win, the biggest win of the season for the Arizona Wildcats so far. They're just a minute and 25 away from downing number 9, Missouri State. A true team victory here for Arizona. As Missouri State comes offside, we'll have a whistle. Just 1:10 to go. Make that 1:11 to go in the game. Coming down to the last minute of play in the game.
1 minute left in the third period.
1 minute to go. Arizona up 6-1 over Missouri State. Remember, we drop the puck to here tomorrow night here at the Tucson Arena, 7:30, between number 11 Arizona and number 9 Missouri State. That could be for the lead in the Western Collegiate Hockey League. Our broadcast will start 10 minutes earlier. There's a blocker save there by Anthony Shuro, who's played a great game down to the last 30 seconds of the game. So we've got a little bit of tussling and talking between players, but I don't think anything's going to happen here. Both of these teams are going to reload for tomorrow night. They'll start 0-0 tomorrow night. Arizona dominant here tonight, but that doesn't mean that we won't have a battle tomorrow night between Missouri State and Arizona. I'd be very surprised if Missouri State doesn't come out with a great effort tomorrow night. And that's it. Your Arizona Wildcats defeat Missouri State by a score of 6-1. A decisive victory for Arizona over the highly ranked Bears.
Missouri State with 10, Arizona with 6. For the game, Missouri State with 32 shots on goal, the Wildcats with 32 shots on goal. The final score here
So the Cats with 6 shots in that third period. Missouri State with 10. They end up 32 shots each, but Arizona has the number that counts. 6-1 victory over Missouri State. Now we'll get ready to send it down to Jackson Peters at center ice to talk to the star of the game. And Coach Berman, and then I'll have a quick wrap up here. From the press box for Arizona Hockey. So let's send it down to Jackson Peters at center ice with our player of the game.
Hi, I'm Jackson Peters, and I'm joined here by number 20, Manny Rona. Manny, this was a team effort tonight, no player of the game, and you guys showed a lot of hustle. What can you guys do, overnight tonight and into tomorrow to bring the same intensity and team effort tomorrow night's game that you brought tonight?
Yeah, the 3-game weekends are tough. You rest up, take care of your body. The same energy from warm-ups starts with you got to get a good food in, get your head right, and then we'll come out firing.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it, Manny. Good luck tomorrow. And now I'm joined here by head coach Chad Berman. Now, coach, another excellent win, but it seemed like a pretty even game throughout most of it. You guys had some bursts of speed that led to some nice goals. Do you expect, a similar, contest tomorrow? Do you expect it to be just as even, or what do you expect?
I always expect a good game against this team. They got a good hockey team over there. I thought our details got better as the game went on. It was good execution top to bottom, and so we want to get in the top 10. So the best part of winning is the next one's even bigger, and so we're really excited for tomorrow's contest.
And of course, that's another important league game, as tonight was, and you were tied with Missouri State headed into tonight. Second place, and then depending on what Central Oklahoma does, you could jump to first in the standings. How much does tomorrow night's game mean to you, especially now that you won tonight's game?
And like I said, every time you win, the next one's bigger. I'm not worried about what UCO does or anybody else. We're trying to win each period, one period at a time, and if we do that, I think we'll be pretty happy with the results.
Well, congrats on the win, Coach. Good luck tomorrow. For those of you on our YouTube broadcast, I'll send it back to Tim Gasson in the booth, and for those of you in the building, we hope to see you right here tomorrow night as the Wildcats take on the exact same Missouri State University Bears at the same puck drop time, 7:30 p.m.
Thank you, Jackson. So the Arizona Wildcats defeat number 9 Missouri State by a score of 6-1. A decisive victory for the Arizona Wildcats, but we'll do it again tomorrow night. It could determine who's going to lead the Western Collegiate Hockey League, but tonight it was Arizona 6 and Missouri State 1. We had goals, 2 goals by Anthony Cusinelli, Ethan Stalyuth, Justin Plumhoff, Trey Decker, and Max Meyer scored for Arizona. Anthony Shiro played very well in goal. It was a dominating performance by the Arizona Wildcats against a squad from Missouri State that scores a lot of goals and has not lost a game like this all year. So we expect a real battle here tomorrow night. It's the rubber match. It's the second of a 2-game series against Missouri State. We've seen it many, many times when one team has been decisive in the Friday game. The second game turns into a real battle. Obviously, a talented and very well-coached Missouri State squad. We expect a great game from them tomorrow night, and we'll see if the Wildcats, a very young squad, can bring that consistency here on home ice. So we'll drop the puck at 7:30 tomorrow night, Saturday night here at the Tucson Arena. If you can't make it, join us here on our YouTube broadcast. We'll start it at 7:20. For our entire UofA Hockey media team and my broadcast partner, Jackson Peters, I'm Timothy Gass, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you here tomorrow night. You've been watching University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey.
Thank you for watching University of Arizona Wildcats Hockey. Visit our website at ArizonaWildcatHockey.org, and we'll see you at the Tucson Arena for the next Arizona Wildcats home game.